Seahawks, surviving the growing pains of youth. Riding the legs of a newfound star.
Hand off on the draw, Alexander to the left side. Touchdown Seahawks!
And bolstered by an improving defense. The Denver Broncos devastated by injury.
McCaffrey is still down.
The wounded Warriors are down to their last chance. One game, the winner can continue to dream. The loser faces a long, cold winter. The Broncos take the field in front of 76,000 in a desperate situation to face an equally desperate group of Seahawks. Good evening, everybody. I'm Mike Patrick. It's great to have you with us. The Seahawks have won 3 of their last 4 games because they have protected the football. Not a single turnover in the last 4. That ties an NFL record. Why are the Broncos only 6-6 at this point? Last week was a perfect example. The wide receivers they were forced to play were numbers 5, 6, 7, and 8 on their depth chart. And, Joe, usually the guys who were 5 through 8 don't threaten anybody.
Well, Michael, they really didn't threaten anybody, and Mike Shanahan wasn't going to try and put it on their shoulders. As a matter of fact, last week against the Miami Dolphins, the longest pass completion for Brian Griese was 13 yards. But that's not going to be the case tonight. He gets Rod Smith back in the lineup. He's going to have to put the football down the field. Brian Griese last week wound up throwing a fourth-quarter interception that he really felt like cost his team the game. He apologized to them. There's no room for apologies tonight for Brian. He's going to have to step up, throw the ball down the field, because that's the best chance the Broncos have of beating the Seattle Seahawks. Now, Paul, over in Seattle, there are no apologies because they've got some pretty good backs that don't need to apologize to anybody.
Joe, even though 5-time Pro Bowler Ricky Watters is healthy tonight, Shaun Alexander will get the start, and deservedly so. When Ricky Watters went down 10 weeks ago, Shaun Alexander did everything the Seattle Seahawks asked him to do. In fact, if he gains 19 yards rushing tonight, he's got 1,000 for the season. He is the only running back that gained over 100 yards against this Denver Broncos defense this season. So if the Seattle Seahawks have a chance to win this football game tonight, Shaun Alexander has to have a big night.
All right, thank you, Paul. When we come back, Susie Colbert talks with Broncos head coach Mike Shanahan.
Hey, listen up, man. This is do or die for us. We all understand this is a playoff game. They're in the same situation we are. It's whoever wants it more for 60 minutes. Win on 3. 1, 2, 3. Win.
Here we go, baby.
Go.
It orders pizza. It has an FM stereo so you can listen to music while waiting for pizza. It two-ways friends to come over for pizza. It has voice-activated dialing so you can order more pizza.
Pizza.
Without putting down your pizza. Get a free clip-on speaker when you buy and activate the Motorola V.120 digital phone now at Verizon Wireless.
Every company sponsors a race car. A great way to get your name out to the public. Problem is, these other guys drive so fast, you can't see the logo. Now, my way is perfect for getting some attention. Of course, there's always somebody trying to outdo you. Show off!
Log on to ESPN's Enhanced TV to win a trip to Hawaii and a chance to call a play at the Pro Bowl. To find out more, go to ESPN.com or NFL.com and play now.
Welcome back to Denver, where the playoff picture isn't too bright for the Broncos. The Steelers, the Raiders, and the Dolphins are the division leaders, and the 3 wild cards right now belong to the Raiders, the Patriots, and the Jets at 7-5. Seattle just a half game back. Denver is 1 game out. And Susie, Mike Shanahan says the math is easy. Win the rest or forget it.
And Mike, that's a departure from the usual 1 game at a time. How daunting to win the rest.
They just got to worry about this game. This is like a playoff game to us, and we got to find a way to get the job done.
Simply stated, your players have said the last time you faced Seattle, they kicked your butt. What went wrong, and how have you corrected it?
Very well put. They beat us in all phases, and we got to come out and be more physical than we were last time, and hopefully we'll put a good one together.
Injuries have killed the offense. How have you helped Brian Griese to deal with the lack of continuity? He's clearly been frustrated.
Well, some of these young guys got some experience over the last 2 or 3 games. We're getting better, so hopefully we can put some points on the scoreboard.
Good luck tonight. Thanks. Mike?
All right, Susie, Mike Holmgren has a half-game advantage over Mike Shanahan for that possible playoff spot. The math for him is about the same, win or else.
No need for all the talk, all the hoopla. You know what we got to do, talk is cheap. Talk with your hat, baby. Talk with your body. Hey, heat on 3. 1, 2, 3, hit.
Troy, I know you got out for a reason. You're worried about getting hurt. But it's a year later. I really think it's time. If you don't get back in, you're going to regret it. Remember what I told you. Think mutual funds. Stay diversified.
Any tax implications?
Wouldn't it be great if the person you trust most was your broker?
Is there a healthcare fund that looks attractive?
At Schwab, our mutual fund advice is always objective, uncomplicated, and not driven by commission. Call 1-800-4-NO-LOAD to find out which fund is right for you.
ESPN welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
We're at beautiful new Invesco Field at Mile High in Denver. And the Broncos will kick off. That's Jason Elam. Actually got a tip from Steve Lindsay, his competitor in training camp. Said it gave him a lot more boost on his kickoffs.
Well, the altitude doesn't hurt either.
No, it doesn't. But he's been here a while.
Up here for a while.
Charlie Rogers out of Georgia Tech, averaging better than 21 yards a return. Will be the deep man. He's back there with Kerry Joseph. And it is a playoff atmosphere here in Denver. They know they're up against it.
What a beautiful day today. I mean, and tonight, it's a perfect night to play football.
I was down on the field earlier. The field's in great condition. It's a fast track. There's no wind at all down on the field, so whatever happens, it's not going to be Mother Nature aided.
And we are underway in Denver. Rogers, a yard deep, brings it out. And stuffed before he got to the 20.
Seattle offensively has to rely on the guy they relied on so much, Shaun Alexander. He had a great game against the Broncos the last time. Expect one tonight. As far as Darrell Jackson goes, he's their go-to guy. He's got twice as many receptions as anybody, but he's going to have to put a couple of big ones together this evening. And Matt Hasselbeck, he has to capitalize on the opportunities. Mike Holmgren has protected him all the way along, but tonight they're going to have to find some big plays in this offense.
Hasselbeck, the numbers below where they expected him to be this year. Only 5 touchdown passes, but only 5 interceptions. Back to throw on first down. Christian Fourier, the tight end, up to the 28-29-yard line.
Defense for the Denver Broncos is fairly simple. You got the 3 tacklers. Best tacklers on this football team are the linebackers. Their job, shut down, try to shut down, do whatever you can to slow down Shaun Alexander. And let everybody else take care of the passing game.
There's no mystery in this one? Is that what you're saying?
None at all.
Second and very short for the Seahawks. Now out of the eye, and Alexander is the deep back behind Matt Strong. And Strong will get a rare carry. Only the 11th opportunity for Max Strong this year to run the football so far.
Mike Holmgren, after the first 3 games of the season, Mike did what Mike likes to do. He likes to throw the football. He came out, and it just didn't work for his young receiving corps and his young quarterback. So what he decided to do over the last 8 weeks was pull the reins back a little bit, make it a much more conservative game plan, and protect the ball. And it's worked out quite well for him.
Bobby Ingram, number 84, checks in as a 3rd wide receiver. He's in the slot to the near side. Alexander. Nice hold. Good second effort across the 35 to the 36. Last time we saw Shaun Alexander, he was killing the Raiders. 266 yards rushing. And that was the 4th best rushing performance in the history of this football league.
A little bit like Priest Holmes did today.
Absolutely.
Well, you know, the one thing about Shaun Alexander, though, he's for a young running back, he's very patient. And he's got great vision. He sees it all.
Came into the weekend 4th in the NFL in rushing. is on the verge of 1,000 yards. Romanowski turned the play back in, and Denver didn't give him any space that time. Trevor Price was waiting for it.
Already you can see the difference in this Denver Bronco defense. Early in the game, the last time these two teams played, Sean Alexander broke a big one. They felt like the linebackers just didn't play very well. Bill Romanowski said, I've worked harder to get ready for this one than one in a long time. There he fights off the block and waits for a little bit of help from his friends.
3rd and 6 for Seattle on the opening possession, and Romanowski comes out in the nickel. Ricky Waters checks in. He'll be the 3rd down back tonight. And Ricky gets the toss to the outside following Big Walter Jones. He'll be stopped about 3 yards shy of a 1st down. It's nice to see Ricky Waters back in action. He's hurt after the first 3 games. He's going to have a tough time getting his starting job back with what Sean Alexander has done on this ball club.
Well, and I think what Mike Holmgren has done is very admirable. This guy here means an awful lot to this young Seattle team. He provides so much enthusiasm and energy that you almost have to get him on the field somehow.
He's still a great back. Fiegels, who is playing his 220th consecutive game, a record for a punter, will kick to Delta O'Neal, 4th in the league in returns. Contact, the flag is down.
And I'm going to tell you what, they're going to pick up this flag because he was blocked in to the receiver. Bernard Walker, number 27, was back, and I think he is the one that just knocks. Watch this. 27 is Walker. Watch him. He's just going to push.
Bannister is the guy who hit O'Neal, and he didn't have a chance.
Neither did Bannister.
No.
And neither one of them had a chance.
So they're going to pick this up.
There is no foul for running into the receiver of a catch. The kicking team, receiving team blocked the kicking team player into the receiver. Therefore, it is no foul. 1st and 10, Denver.
Actually, it should have been a foul on Denver for the block in the back, but they missed that one. Denver and Brian Greasy will have the ball when we come back. With the ball for the first time, they'll start from their own 16-yard line. Brian Greasy at quarterback, Terrell Davis behind him. Greasy looking for Rod Smith and has him up at the 23. Smith, with a pair of bad ankles, did not play a week ago.
Well, you saw the guy that's got to come back into this offense. Rod Smith wasn't a part of it last week. Longest completion, just 13 yards. They have to get the big plays out of him. Terrell Davis, well, there's the guy who has been in and out of the lineup. This is the 2nd week he starts. He provides the breakaway runs. And, of course, Brian Greasy, he's got to be aggressive, not try and protect the game, but go out and win.
Greasy, good protection. Too far for Smith. For more on Rod, let's go down to Susan.
And Mike, I talked to Rod during warm-ups. He was out very early trying to warm up those ankles. He's not exactly doing cartwheels, but he says the ankles feel okay. He's making cuts, but said, don't expect too many. Maybe one cut and straight down the field. Expect more go routes from Rod tonight.
And they're just so desperate to have him on the field. As Joe said, he's the guy that provides the big plays. Even after the week off, he came into the weekend 2nd in the NFL in receiving, 3rd in yards, already over the 1,000-yard mark. Seattle jumps, perhaps Denver moved. We'll check it. Jeff Triplett, our referee tonight.
Prior to the snap, false start, 89 offense. 5-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
Dwayne Carswell, the tight end.
You know, watching Rod Smith warm up, it's his left ankle that's the problem. He hurt the right one in the Dallas game. It's his left one that's really been the problem for him. And as a quarterback and a coach, you want to be able to make sure that he can cut off his right ankle. So look for posts from the right side and outs from the left side so that he can use that right foot, that right ankle, as something to drive off of. I think the left one's just too weak.
3rd and 8. Smith went in, Greasy threw out, and here comes the punt team.
And here come the boos. I mean, no boos in the first series of downs. I don't care where you are.
You take 1 week off and things change. Left side of the screen. Greasy goes back. gets the coverage he wants. The only problem is Rod Smith's going in, ball's going out.
Tom Ruin, who always has an outstanding average, except for last year, career low. Brought in a little competition in training camp, and Ruin is punting beautifully again. Charlie Rogers from the 40 has a hole. 18-yard return for the dangerous Charlie Rogers after a 43-yard kick. And Seattle will have great field position when we come back at the Denver 43. Brought to you by the Intel Pentium 4 processor, the center of your digital world, by Toyotathon 2002. Password value, get the feeling. And by 1010-220. Dial it, and all calls up to 20 minutes are only 99 cents. And those are the Broncos Super Bowl trophies from Super Bowl 32 and 33 when they beat the Packers and the Falcons for Mike Shanahan. Established his legend early here in Denver. Ricky Waters, the single setback on 1st and 10. Hasselbeck to throw, now under pressure. And gets out of bounds after picking up about 7 yards.
Michael, I tell you, this just shows the agility and the patience of this young man. What's happened to him during the course of this year? At the beginning of this year, he would have thrown that ball into coverage and might have been intercepted. But take a look what Matt Hasselbeck does here. He pulls the ball down. Now he's still looking downfield. He wants something to happen. He can't get anybody open, so he picks up 7 yards on the play.
Even though he's in his 3rd year, there are a lot of rookie-like attributes for Matt Hasselbeck because he never got an opportunity to play in Green Bay. You're behind Brett Favre, you never play. Alexander wrapped up at the line of scrimmage. Eric Brown, the safety.
Talking to Ray Rhodes, the defensive coordinator of the Denver Broncos, earlier this week, he realized how well Seattle ran against them the first time. What you're going to see, Matt Hasselbeck, remember, did not play against the Denver Broncos in their first meeting. It was Trent Dilfer at the quarterback spot. So what Ray's going to do is put a lot of guys at the line of scrimmage and give them a lot of different looks and let the quarterback try and hesitate just a little bit. And if he wants to run the football, that would be fine. I just don't think they're going to gain a lot of yards running it from their backs.
3rd and 3. Jackson in motion. Hasselbeck in the flat. Alexander. And again, it's Eric Brown, and the pass is incomplete. Brown did a nice job flying up from the secondary to be there in coverage.
Well, we talked about the linebackers are the leading tacklers on this team. Well, Eric Brown is 4th, and that's, you just saw a classic example. He gets those last 2 tackles.
Which is really a departure, because in Denver, it used to be that their secondary guys, their safeties, were the ones that always made the plays.
And between the 32 and the 37-yard line, it's sort of become no man's land, so they're going to go for it on 4th and 3. Alexander off the right side. That's close.
Come on, Paul. He's got to get to the 33-yard line. If they put the ball on that stripe, he's got it.
Oh, look.
Hey.
Come on, make a call. Come on.
All right.
Don't
Joseph.
look.
I got to look at the field.
Covering your eyes. Well, you're looking at the monitor.
I think he misses it by about 2 inches. I think he misses it by 2 inches.
Watch the 1st and 10 line. He's an inch short.
1.
Nice defensive stand by the Denver Broncos. They take over on downs. 0-0. First quarter, 8:31 to go. Seahawks and the Broncos from Denver, and Denver has just taken over on downs. They'll start at their own 34. 4 more wins. That's what they'll need. And now Seattle has challenged the spot.
I would also challenge the respot.
You know what? I'll tell you what's going to happen. It's going to probably be a first down now, because when the officials respot this ball, it's not in the same spot it was marked down at.
Well, just think about it. When Seattle was going the other way, it was almost to the 33-yard line. Now, Denver has the ball, and it's almost at the 34-yard line. It's kind of a neat deal.
Don't you get a couple feet to play with if you want to mark the ball?
All right, here we go.
again, that goal line is where they have to reach for a first down.
Now that goal line is just the other side of the 33, going towards the Bronco goalpost.
I'll be honest with you, I don't think he makes it on that play. The ball comes out and he falls on it. That's after the play, after he's already down. So Sean Alexander did not get the first down. The question is, where do you mark the ball now?
That ball is
what are they voting on?
It's about a foot. Cast your vote. Log on to Enhanced TV and
well, here's a dilemma for them too. They have already moved the yard markers, and they've already respotted the ball.
Yeah, well, the ball is down. It's short,
and then it comes out and it's forward about a yard. It doesn't work.
And keep in mind, it must be absolutely what? Ball
conclusive.
Thank you.
I love that word. I wish I could spell that, baby.
And that replay certainly isn't. It's 1K.
Here we go.
After reviewing the play, the runner's knee and elbow hit short of the line to gain. The ball was in his hand, short of the 32. Therefore, it is not a first down. Seattle is charged a timeout.
If it was short of the 32, it would have been about a yard. That's okay.
Oh, help me, help me, help me.
The air's thin up here.
It's all right. It was a good call, but the explanation was off by a yard.
Can we play football now?
Be a good idea. And that cost the Seahawks a timeout.
Yeah, they're not to move the ball back. They moved it back. Thank you. So the first 3 plays that Denver had the ball, they threw it 3 times. Terrell Davis is back, isn't he?
Came back last week after missing 2 weeks for arthroscopic surgery on one of his knees. He's had 2 of those procedures in the last 9 weeks. And last week, even though he was leg weary, he gained 97 yards. Davis breaks a couple of tackles. Chad Brown brings him down at the 38-yard line.
What Seattle needs on defense is the same game John Randall gave him the last time. That's harass the running backs and the quarterbacks. But then they only put 1 guy on him. Tonight, you're going to see at least 2. Chad Brown, when he plays that strong side, what he has to do is stay home. Don't let anything come back to his outside. And Anthony Simmons, he's going to be a treat to watch, number 51. You're going to see, wherever the ball is, you're going to see him.
Davis again for a couple.
Paul, you mentioned John Randall. In the first meeting, watch John Randall against Dan Neal. There he is, number 93, making the tackle up the middle. Now he's going to put pressure on Brian Griese. This is just pushing Neal right back in, shoves Griese to the ground with 1 hand. There he is, lined up just a little bit wider again. 1 guy around Neal makes the sack. Talking to Mike Shanahan yesterday, Michael and I were sitting there, and he said, if you happen to see John Randall blocked by 1 guy, it's a mistake. It's going to be a mistake. 2 guys were blocked.
Now he's on the outside.
33 blitz coming. Smith. That's a first down at the 46. Ken Lucas, the rookie who's playing for the suspended Sean Springs, made the tackle.
It makes a huge difference, and I don't care if you've caught 100 balls. If you miss an entire week of practice, like Rod Smith has, there is a problem with timing. We saw that in the first series of downs. But on this play here, look at the perfect timing. Griese to Smith. Absolutely perfect.
Chris Cole and Scotty Montgomery are the new wide receivers, and Davis with a carry. Brought down by Chad Eaton, the free agent they got from New England this year to help in the run stopping. Davis, when he is healthy, is as good as anybody in the game. The problem is he's had a tough time staying healthy.
And by his own admission, he's not there yet. He feels a little bit like this is preseason for him. It's the 2nd game to start. He told me Friday he feels a little bit stronger, a little bit better, but he's not there yet.
And he's lived off the Seahawks. Mike Anderson is in to give Davis a blow right now. 2nd and 7. He's a short set. Cole with the catch, and into the Seattle 39-yard line. 7th catch of the year for Chris Cole, a third-round draft choice a year ago out of Texas A&M.
I think one of the things you have to do is get up on these receivers and get up a lot closer. Look at Greasy. He's taking a 3-step drop, turning and firing the ball. Cole is there now. I understand that Kenny Lucas, the rookie, slipped, but you've got to be up on these receivers. He hasn't even attempted to go deep yet.
Greasy, 20 touchdown passes. Only had 4 picks a year ago, has 14 this year. Short out again, this completion, and they are really picking on Lucas. They go to Desmond Clark, the tight end, for his 46th catch of the year. He's number 3 as far as tight ends are concerned.
Something to keep in mind. The Seahawks keep their corners on the same side. You saw Rod Smith make a catch. Then you saw Chris Cole make a catch in front of Lucas. Now you saw Clark make one. See, it's tight end, it's wide receiver, it's wide receiver. He's just playing the corner. They're throwing everybody they can out in front of him. Now it's Rod Smith's turn again.
Anderson. Oh, what a shot he took, and a flag is down late.
That looked like Willie Williams, number 27, that came in and hit him in the mouth with a forearm.
Looked more like a truck. What a shot. And a personal foul against Seattle.
It's probably going to go against Willie Williams.
In continuing action, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, 90 defense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Chad Eaton, who was fined for a hit a week ago.
There's number 90. The circle's not really big enough to cover him totally, but you got the idea. Here he is coming in late. There it is.
Oh.
Hits Dwayne Carswell right in the middle of the back lane. Chad Eaton has been placed in charge of doing all the drawing, and that time he did a little pushing.
Davis back in, takes the toss. Moves the pile to the 13-yard line.
You know, you mentioned at the beginning of this game about the offense that Terrell Davis has to have a big night. He has to have some big plays, some big running plays. And when you're looking at him run now, he is running with more confidence that his legs are fine and everything is going well for him. But I just got the feeling when you talk to him that in his head, there's still that reminder. It's just not 100% yet.
This is only the 15th game he has played in the last 47 for Denver. They go in motion this time, and they sling it to him. Chad Brown with a remarkable play on the corner. Took the blocker and just threw him up in the air.
Oh, he threw him right back into Terrell Davis. It was unbelievable. Chad Brown comes up and just whacks. Watch this. That's Rod Smith. Look at, he pushed him back into Terrell Davis. Then he hit him again.
And you know what? That's the result of a bad ankle, too. Rod Smith on a good ankle wouldn't get shoved around like that.
It's also the result of Chad Brown being remarkably strong. 3rd and 5 for Denver. Greasy. Clark. Touchdown.
Pass complete to Desmond Clark.
They beat Marcus Robertson, and that was the height advantage for Desmond Clark. 6'3" over the 5'11" Robertson.
Yeah, but you got to look for the football. I mean, Marcus Robinson is not used to covering guys out in space, obviously. There he is, 31. He's a safety. He's a free safety. He never really looks for the football, and when he does, it's just too late.
With all the injuries at wide receiver, Denver has gone to its tight ends over and over this year, Clark and Carswell. They do it again, and Desmond Clark gets his 5th touchdown catch of the year on a perfect throw from Brian Greasy. Greasy perfect on the drive, 5 out of 5, a 66-yard march that took 10 plays and paid off with the touchdown pass to Clark. Taken by the up man, Kerry Joseph. Joseph still on his feet, struggling for yards, pushed back from the 25. First quarter in Denver, the Broncos draw first blood. They're on top 7-0. Seattle down 7-0. Seahawks have the football at their own 26-yard line. Hasselbeck to throw. And dropped by Darrell Jackson. Let's check in with Susie.
And Mike, earlier Joe was addressing how Ray Rose wants to attack this team. Well, oddly enough, Matt expressed that he feels an odd sense of comfort knowing that Ray is calling the shots against him. Ray is head coach for a year in Green Bay. They spent a lot of time around each other. And he says, yes, he knows Ray is aggressive with his defense, but Matt gets a sense of what he's feeling, anticipating what's coming. The first step in exploiting it. Of course, Ray knows a lot about this Seattle offense. Seattle hasn't changed their protection philosophy.
It's always a battle of wits when you have veteran coaches with backgrounds like that. Hasselbeck throws behind Jackson again into double-team coverage.
That ball was tipped at the line of scrimmage by Pittman, number 95.
Kavika out of McNeese State.
If you look on the left-hand side, look at number 95. Now watch him go up, and he's going to tip the ball. He goes, looks like he's coming. He goes up in the air and then tips that ball away. Nice play.
That's part of the zone blitzes. You bring a linebacker, you drop it in.
Ricky Watters in on third down. Flags are down. Hasselbeck rolling away from pressure. Throws underneath, and that one's complete to Fourier for a minimal gain.
This was a freebie because Denver, I think, is offside.
Offside. Defense. 93 lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty. Remains third down.
The two-time Pro Bowler was offside.
You think that's offside?
Their face masks are locked together.
That's a slight advantage.
You know, hard to block a guy that's that close.
Well, it's already in the back.
I was just going to say, he's got the ball. Already ahead past it.
So it's 3rd and 5, a new life for Seattle. They like to throw the ball to Bobby Ingram, 84 on third down. Oh, wide open downfield was Jackson. And Hasselbeck missed him.
Boy, I tell you, Jackson was wide open. All he had to do was don't put so much air on the ball and just throw it in there, and he'd have had Jackson. I don't know if he'd have scored, but it would have been a big game.
Well, the thing is, too, remember, this is Matt Hasselbeck's first time against the Denver Broncos. He's got him wide open down the middle of the football field, and you can see on the right, there really isn't a defender where he wasn't able to lead him a little bit more to the right.
Fiegels to kick to Delta O'Neal. Beautiful punt. O'Neal from the 18 looking for blocks. Got a great one at the corner. Delta O'Neal. Fiegels slowed him up. There's a marker down. 41-yard return after a punt of 50.
They got a legal man downfield, so that this play's going to stay.
Couple of great blocks on this return. A good job by Fiegels.
Keep an eye out on the left part of your screen. Watch the wall set up. Good block on number 36. Now Delta, what a terrific job by Fiegels, just holding a position and allowing help to come and make the tackle.
There's 1:59 to go first quarter. You were going to say about punters?
They're getting better at tackling.
All guts, aren't they?
They're out almost every day hitting each other.
Tough guys.
Delta O'Neal, not only a terrific kick returner, 7 interceptions this season. Davis pushed back. For more on Delta O'Neal, here's Susie.
Mike, he had his first career punt return for a touchdown on this, an 86-yarder in Week 5 against the Seahawks. The return was the 4th longest in Broncos history. He's averaging 12.9 yards per return. And as you mentioned, also pretty good on defense, too.
He has been a terrific find for this ball club. 2nd and 6. Play action by Greasy. Smith can't get there. Lucas was stride for stride with it.
Rod Smith is a warrior. And John Elway, we've seen him for so many years for the Broncos do spectacular things, but really be just a tough guy. Rod Smith is not 100%. I'd say he's probably closer to 80. But you see him still fighting through the injuries, trying to make plays to help this ball club at a critical time.
And I asked him yesterday on Friday, Joe, if he gets warmed up and then he comes to the sideline, he has to sit. Does his ankles lock on him? He said, no. As soon as I get warmed up, I'm fine.
Empty backfield on 3rd and a long 6. Greasy out in the flat. And this is going to be close. They needed to get just shy of the 30 for the first down. Teron Coleman, who was out of football until 2 weeks ago, makes the catch.
And this is your classic go-for-it area.
And the Broncos are going to go for it on 4th and 1. Davis is the single setback. Now he leaves. And Greasy has to burn a timeout.
I think Greasy saw Terrell Davis leaving, but wait a minute, I don't have the right play call.
Monday night. Oh, man. Greasy talking with Mike Shanahan and Gary Kubiak, the offensive coordinator. Here are the updated standings. Pittsburgh now 10-2. Baltimore 2 games back, so that one's going to be critical for both of those clubs.
Baltimore having a bye this week, getting a chance to get a lot of people back healthy. They expect Sam Adams back to help them out, so good time to get a bye.
Oh, it's a perfect time to get a bye.
Oh, and when you look at that's the standings. The Cleveland team beat Baltimore twice.
That's amazing. 4th and 1. Not an empty backfield this time, and Davis lowers his shoulder and has the first down at the 30-yard line before he's gang tackled.
I think that might have been the play that Greasy had called before when Terrell Davis left. He said, wait a minute, if you leave, I don't have anybody to hand the ball to.
They mark it on the line. They're going to have the first down.
First down.
And it is on the line.
There it is, squarely on our 1st and 10 line.
And squarely on the 30-yard line.
Mike Shanahan anxiously watching the chains coming from the far side. The gamble pays off. A new set of downs for the Broncos.
Of course, Gary Kubiak is the offensive coordinator, and I asked Mike Shanahan, how many plays do you call? I would think that 4th down might have been one of those he might sprinkle in. But basically, it's Gary Kubiak's offense to run.
So Denver's going to let the clock run out, and they'll have a first down at the 30 when we start the second quarter, already up a touchdown. That's the end of the first quarter. The Broncos 7, Seahawks nothing. Emotions running high here in Denver. The winner stays in the playoff hunt. Broncos on top 7-0 as we start the second quarter here at Invesco Field in Mile High. Just a beautiful stadium. But it's been a disappointment for the Broncos because they come into this game at 6-6. Seattle 6-5, both fighting for their lives here to stay in the playoff race. 1st and 10 Denver at the Seattle 30. Greasy, quick shot. Casper fights for about 4.
Joe mentioned at the beginning of this game about John Randall to be a mistake if there was only one guy blocking on him. Well, here you're going to see the double teams, and sometimes there's 3. John Randall's 93. Watch this. He's double teamed. You're going to see him double team again. Now watch him slide to him. Even the center slides to him. John Randall again, another double team.
That's respect.
Yeah, but I'm going to tell you what, he still gets upfield.
Yep, but that's respect. But he's not getting in Greasy's face.
Terrell Davis. Inside the 25. Let's check in with Susie.
Oh, how John Randall ate up on this team the last time out. Well, Brian Griese said clearly they just didn't respect him enough. Randall replied, if they disrespected him, fine. He was out there clapping and applauding. But he also added that he believes this defense, this Denver line is just not playing with the same fire, not as potent on offense. The small line could always survive late in the game, but they're just not the same. I don't know, guys. They're moving pretty well tonight.
Yes, they are, Susie. Randall has been brilliant throughout his career, most of it in Minnesota. Here comes the blitz. Griese throws, but it's incomplete, intended for Clark.
Boy, I'll tell you, he had Clark open, and Clark was deep enough for the first down.
I'm going to go back to John Randall just for 1 second. In the first meeting between these two teams, John Randall worked over Dan Neal. Here you see the pass, wide right. Neal had a bad ankle. Didn't wind up playing the next week after that. But Mike Shanahan just wasn't going to take a chance and let anybody go one-on-one with that.
Jason Elam comes on for a 42-yard field goal try. He's had an excellent season, missed only 3 out of 25. And just got it inside the right upright. So a 42-yard field goal increases Denver's lead to 10-0. They played very well early in this game. Thanks, Boomer. Not much of a scoring drive. 8 plays, 16 yards.
Well, the two big plays in this game so far have been the fourth down play. Seattle went for it, didn't make it. Denver did and did make it.
Rodgers from the 3. Again, stopped shy of the 20. Good coverage by the Broncos.
One of the things Mike Holmgren talked about coming here on the road, he said, we have to match the Broncos' intensity through the first quarter of this football game. Well, they've been pretty close at it. I think the Broncos really have the edge from an intensity level, although Seattle has had some opportunities. Matt Hasselbeck missed one down the middle to Darrell Jackson just in the last drive.
Ricky Waters will start at tailback in this series. Waters on the toss.
Oh, what a great play by Romanowski.
Doesn't lay a hand on him.
Doesn't have to.
Doesn't lay a hand on him.
Got right in front of Steve Hutchinson, the pulling guard.
Steve Hutchinson actually does a nice job by taking Ricky Waters' legs out from underneath him.
Watch Romanowski. Look at the leverage he gets on the guard, Steve Hutchinson coming out. He just, look at that. He knows that he made the play.
In his 14th year, playing his 221st straight game. Crowd's really into it now. Hasselbeck under pressure. Down he goes at the 10. Reggie Hayward.
Boy, I'll tell you what, this was coverage all the way. He had absolutely no place to throw the football.
Reggie Hayward coming in. Ricky Waters trying to block. Now Ricky's trying to block a defensive end. Matt Hasselbeck just gets wrapped up, put away like Christmas presents. Romo, part of that linebacking core that you alluded to, Paul.
And boy, this has been a good defense. They're number 6 against the run, number 6 overall, and they have held Seattle to 21 yards so far in this game. Hasselbeck throws a strike this time out to the 31, Corin Robinson. 19-yard gain on 3rd and long, and the best throw of the night for Hasselbeck.
Two things happen. You throw a great ball and you get protection, and the guy runs the right route.
I think it was important for Matt Hasselbeck in this game, too, because a lot of bad things have been happening. Overthrows, getting sacks. You could see his body language start to show his disappointment. Now that lifts him right back up. He's right back in the ballgame.
Mike Holmgren says Robinson cutting down on his drops, getting better as the season goes along. And movement everywhere.
Left guard, left tackle.
Both start. 76 offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Steve Hutchinson, the rookie out of Michigan, who was the 17th overall pick in the draft. Mike Holmgren likes him a lot, and he should be a fixture with Walter Jones on that left side.
Two other rookies starting this year from Michigan, Jim Backus with the Lions and Maurice Williams with the Jags. All three of these guys have played every game this year. Michigan puts out some pretty tough cookies.
Says something about him, doesn't it? 1st and 15. Sean Alexander in the tailback. He has yet to get on track. Draw play here. On 2, Alexander gets out to the 35-yard line. Now we'll check the marker. And Bobby Ingram giving the official an earful. It may be his penalty. And this is a big one, 15 yards.
Well, they pointed against the Broncos.
It's against the Broncos. That's why I pointed at it.
Yeah.
So maybe Ingram was the offended
Personal foul. Face mask. 15 yards, number 53 in the defense.
Romanowski.
Automatic first down.
We just saw just a moment ago Bill Romanowski make an excellent play on a running play. And then comes back with a face mask and cost 15.
So Denver has Seattle invade its territory to the 49. Waters back in. Hasselbeck pump fake. And incomplete.
Boy, they got the perfect defense.
Robinson was open, and he missed him again.
What they did is they caught Denver with the safeties up around the line of scrimmage. Watch, there's a safety, there's a safety. The play action's going to get him to bite. It's going to give Corn Robinson an opportunity to go one-on-one up top. Little play action, out, up. Just hang it up, Matt. Just hang it up for him.
Boy, Joe, you've got to hit those.
Well, he's missed 2 deep ones, 2 big opportunities tonight. He's missed them.
And a great pattern run by Robinson. Draw play to Waters. That high leg kick action down to the 43-yard line. Mike Holmgren knew that when Ricky Waters was ready to come back, he was going to be facing a problem, considering the fact that Sean Alexander had played so well and Ricky Williams has played so well over the course of his career, and Ricky wants to play. He's walking a fine line there, trying to keep both of them happy and get something out of both of them. 3rd down, out in the flat. Fourier, first down to the 37-yard line.
Along with the Ricky Waters situation, Mike, is Mike Holmgren on Friday met with Ricky Waters before Ricky had his press conference, or the media just besieged him.
Good timing.
And had a chance to sit down actually with Sean Alexander and Ricky and explain to him what he intended for it. Sean totally understands that Ricky has to play because he feels like Ricky can help them down the stretch.
Couldn't find a better guy than Mike Holmgren to handle stuff like that. He and Mike Shanahan, 2 of the truly nice people and successful people in this business. Hasselbeck throws to the sideline, and it's out of bounds. Robinson couldn't get the feet down. Let's check in with Susie for more on Ricky Waters.
Mike, here's what both players said about that Friday meeting. First off, Sean said it's a misconception that Ricky isn't a team player, a class guy. He's nothing but class. Yes, Ricky was vocal and emotional, but he was just being honest with he and the coach, and it wasn't uncomfortable. Ricky told me before the game, yes, he's a warrior. He wants to play, but he believes that most teams would have put a player who's been out 9.5 weeks on IR. It showed him they truly believe in him, and they wanted him back, and they want him playing.
Susie, if you show a player loyalty, you've got a guy who's going to stick with you in the long run. Waters down to the 30. It'll bring up about 3 yards for a first down.
The one thing about Ricky Waters is he explodes. When he sees the hole, watch this. Look at his eyes. Look at the intensity in this guy. And watch, he sees the hole. Bang, he's in it. And when he gets his shoulders square, you're not going to put an arm on him and bring him down.
3rd and 3, Seattle trying to get back in this ball game. Waters on his last 2 carries, 14 yards. Alexander comes in on 3rd down.
They're basically in 2-down territory as well again.
Hasselbeck with a free play, dives to the 25, lost the ball. I think he was down, and he was.
Denver was offside, Mike.
Looked like it. It looked like McLaughlin, who has done that throughout his career, got an early start.
Offside. Defense, 91. 5-yard penalty. Result of the penalty, first down.
Chester McLaughlin. He is number 91. Look at this. Wow. He almost got Matt Hasselbeck by the face mask.
Almost got to him.
Chester.
This is where you get smart with the football if you're a quarterback.
And that's what they have done the last 4 games. They have played smart football. Alexander wrapped up by McLaughlin.
How many times do you see a guy make a mistake, and I'm talking about Chester McLaughlin, and then they come up and then they make an outstanding play at the line of scrimmage?
See, we talk about John Randall not being blocked one-on-one. When Chester McLaughlin decides he wants to throw it into high gear, there isn't anybody in this league that can block him. And you saw in that play just how dominating he can be. Then you bring in Trevor Price. You got 2 big guys in the middle.
Hasselbeck wants the screen, and it's intercepted
by Chester McLaughlin.
Right into the hands of the defensive tackle who was dropping back off the line. The first turnover in 4.5 games for the Seahawks, and a terrible decision for Hasselbeck. Remarkably for Chester McLaughlin, that was his 4th career interception. If they get Chester to lose about 150 pounds, they could put him at corner.
But it's his 200 this year.
Greasy with a bullet to the 31. That's a first down to Rod Smith.
I got to show you this interception. That's Chester McLaughlin right there. That's Bill Romanowski. Romo's going to put the pressure on. Chester's going back into pass coverage. Here comes the blitz. Center doesn't pick it up. Chester, but look at the one-handed catch he makes with the interception. That just wasn't a simple one. It didn't like hit you. That's reach out and make it, snatch it out of the air.
Blitz coming. They run away. Davis pushed out of bounds, but not until he reaches the 36-yard line. Good block by Trey Teague, the left tackle.
One of the things that happens when I'm coming on a blitz and you're a linebacker and you're coming to the inside, that means the defensive end has to get back to the outside. Look at Chad Brown. He sneaks up and he goes inside. Now, when he sacrifices himself there's got to be a defensive end to the outside to take the containment, which there was not on that play.
Nice cut block by Lenny Friedman. Playing with a sprained knee. Nothing on this one.
Paul, didn't you say that all you need to do is find the ball and you're probably going to find Anthony Simmons around it? There was a classic play right there.
He had 13 tackles a week ago against San Diego. Outstanding defensive game. He's out of Clemson.
The perfect complement to LaVon Kirkland in the middle and Chad Brown. A guy who can just flow from sideline to sideline.
Kirkland in there, you don't get a whole lot up the middle. Greasy hands in the pocket and throws incomplete. Clark was open, the pass was too high, and a flag comes in late.
LaVon Kirkland is upset.
Boy, LaVon better be careful he doesn't get another one. They're going to call him on a personal foul.
Roughing the passer. LaVon Kirkland is on the blitz, number 99. Watch him come up the middle. You know.
Oh, come on. Will you? That, you know, they don't even push. Look at John. They bump into him.
John Randall and Kirkland hit each other and they bounce off. That's a terrible call.
You know, that is really, really horrible. Jeff Triplett, the referee, called that, and that is just a bad call. That is not roughing the quarterback.
That's not even roughing him up.
That's pushing. They ought to make it a 10-yard penalty for pushing the quarterback down.
Automatic first down at midfield, and Davis swallowed up as he got back to the line of scrimmage and no more. Marcus Robertson led the charge. Terrell Davis, first 4 years, 6,400 yards rushing. Because of the injuries, he's been limited to 870 in the last 3 seasons.
But look at that. The first 4 years, just 3 games missed.
He's as good as anybody that ever played.
And wants to get back that way, too. Wants to get back to that level.
Play action by Greasy. Good protection. Davis underneath, and he missed him. Well, now the fans really come out booing. They have been hard on Greasy. They've been hard on this ball club.
You know, Gracie was asked a question about the pressure with John Elway and being in the shadow of him all the time. And I love the way he answered. He said, wait a minute. My father played professional football. He's in the Hall of Fame. You want to talk about pressure? When I was in college, that was pressure. He said, this is fun.
Yeah, I think there is pressure. If you're a Denver Bronco quarterback and you come in after John Elway, there's going to be all kinds of pressure because of what John has accomplished here.
But I think he's been able to handle it.
He has handled it well.
Well, he led the league in passer rating a year ago, went to the Pro Bowl. Greasy steps up under pressure underneath to Davis. And couldn't get out of the grasp of the linebacker, Marcus Bell, who saved the first down.
I'll tell you what, the old Greasy hung onto this ball for as long as he could.
Seattle's defense is stepping up their intensity. Got all day looking downfield. Can't find anybody. Finally swings it out to the right. Antonio Cochran gets him on the ground.
Rodgers waits it to 10. Lets it go, and it bounds into the end zone. 43-yard kick, but only a net of 23 for Ruin. Greasy and the Broncos fail on that drive, but they're still up 10-0. Seahawks offense not posting any decent numbers. Hasselbeck is thrown for only 34.
Missed an opportunity to Jackson and also to Corn Robinson.
And Jackson, their leading receiver, has yet to catch a ball. Blitz coming. They pick it up well. Hasselbeck behind the intended receiver, Corn Robinson.
Well, if you want to see one of the reasons why Hasselbeck is having some problems in the Seattle Seahawks offense, here's the Broncos defense, what they've done tonight. Remember, this is a 4th down play right here. It was stuffed by... Look at this. Chester McLaughlin stuffs it again. Then a pressure on Hasselbeck. That one is on him because he held it too long. And then here's Chester McLaughlin, the defensive tackle, making an interception. Those are all the things that are happening to Seattle.
Hasselbeck has hit only one of his last 5 and is 4 of 11 for the game. Pump fake here under pressure, throws underneath Alexander.
Well, Trevor Price was in his space again and just whacked him just as he's getting ready to throw the ball.
And this is not what Mike Holmgren had in mind coming in here.
This is supposed to be a screen. The thing is you're a quarterback, you pump and give a little ground. That time, Trevor Price closed the ground quicker than Matt Hasselbeck could give it.
Third and 10. 4:36 to go first half in a 10-0 game. Hasselbeck goes out in the flat. The catch made by Bobby Ingram.
Bobby Ingram's 6th year in the league. Had some really productive years in Chicago.
But one of the things with Matt Hasselbeck, though, I mean, he's got guys open. He's just not getting the ball to him.
He doesn't look as comfortable as I've seen him in the pocket. There's a degree of uncertainty. Susie talked about him, getting a feel for Ray Rhodes. Well, he doesn't have the feel yet, I can tell you that.
They have switched up their blitzes very, very well on defense. Alexander back in on 1st and 10, and he'll get the carry. Runs into his own man and then makes something out of it up to the 38-yard line. And Sean Alexander tonight becomes the Seahawks' latest 1,000-yard rusher.
Boy, he really, I said about at the beginning of the game, he's really stepped up when Ricky Waters went down. I mean, this guy stepped up for this football team.
Came into the weekend 4th in the NFL in rushing. And in Seahawk history, Kurt Warner, Chris Warren, Ricky Waters, who did it the last 3 years, and now Sean Alexander.
Now, keep in mind, he's done this in 9 games, basically 9 starts.
Seattle really needs something out of this drive. Hasselbeck under pressure, and down he goes, Trevor Price.
I'll tell you, Chris Gray almost tackled Trevor Price. He had no chance to block him.
Could it be the number 93? Because John Randall in the first game for Seattle wears number 3, and Trevor Price wears 93. He just blows right by Chris Gray.
Been to 2 straight Pro Bowls. Was a linebacker at Michigan, transferred to Clemson. Had 1 year at defensive end. He's been a tackle in the pros, and a great one. 3rd and 12. Hasselbeck down the middle. Jackson took a shot from Eric Brown, but hung on.
What a throw and catch.
Well, it's the same play that they had earlier in the ball game when Jackson ran right down the middle of the field. They caught him in what's classically a double zone. The corner's up, the safeties taking each a half. Perfect throw. The perfect throw that time. And does a good job of hanging on to the ball after he takes that shot.
First catch for the second-year wide receiver out of Florida who leads the ball club. Will they get a playoff before the 2-minute warning? It's 1st and 10. From the 38, they will. Hasselbeck with time, batted down at the line of scrimmage. And we have reached the 2-minute warning officially at 1:57 in Denver. Isn't that beautiful? The 16th Street Mall and Denver Outdoor Pavilion's a unique shopping experience. Best of all, the horse gets a day off on Christmas.
Great restaurants. Great restaurants, sir.
This horse is always busy.
How hard is it to hold that pose, though? That's really trained well.
So it's not a real horse, Joe. Sorry.
2nd and 10, blitz coming. Hasselbeck unloads. Oh, what a catch. Bobby Ingram stumbling toward the sideline, made the catch, and Hasselbeck got rid of it under extreme pressure.
Did you look at the pressure on Hasselbeck? Now he's limping, but look at this. They have the full-scale blitz coming at him, and he stands in there and throws. He gets whacked, but he makes a good throw. Now look at Ingram. Ingram just turns his body all the way around to make that catch. Most importantly, make sure he gets his hands on the ball, then worry about staying in bounds.
And Robbie Tobeck did a great job on the blitz. He actually picked up 2 guys, one to his left and one to his right. Alexander, nothing there. Clock running, 1:44 and counting. Reggie Hayward was in on the tackle for Denver. Seattle had a drive like this earlier and came away with nothing after the interception. It was a 60-yard drive, 11 plays, took nearly 6 minutes off the clock. They came up empty.
The receivers have made some big plays in this drive, though. Matt Hasselbeck hanging in real well. Seattle's got a little hop in their step right now, coming out of the huddle.
10th play of the drive coming. Hasselbeck changing the play. Big blitz by Denver again. For the end zone. Touchdown. Darrell Jackson and a perfect throw from Hasselbeck.
That's what you're looking for. Look for air under the ball. I've seen so many throws watching games today. Quarterbacks throw the ball so flat when they're trying to hit a go to a receiver. Put great trajectory on this ball.
Joe, you were talking about the recognition of the defense. Hasselbeck obviously knew what that defense was intended to do, changed out of the play.
Could see everybody at the line of scrimmage. Perfect pass to Darrell Jackson.
Fourth touchdown catch of the year for Jackson. Ryan Lindell for the point after. And Denver is closed to within 3 with 1:05 to go in the half. Or Seattle is closed to within 3. And that was a huge drive for the Seahawks. ESPN Sunday Night Football is brought to you by Nike, by Fidelity Investments. We can help you see yourself succeeding. And by New Campbell's Chunky Homestyle Classic Soups. Listen to your mom. They fill you up right. That's the beautiful city and county building of Denver in downtown, lit up for the holidays.
It doesn't even look real, does it?
I did a beautiful job on it.
Looks like a painting. That doesn't look real either.
It's like my front yard.
This guy there just came in from the mountains.
That guy?
No, fortunately.
You have a guy in a Denver Bronco jersey in your front yard.
We have a restraining order on him. Chris Cole, a yard deep. And Cole swallowed up at the 17.
Nice job by Matt Hasselbeck on the touchdown to recognize where everyone is. Look at all these guys at the line of scrimmage. He's got the one-on-one coverage. He audibles and gets Daryl Jackson to just go up the field. Straight go. Little quick bounce inside. Perfectly thrown ball. Wonderful trajectory over Jimmy Spencer.
Matt Hasselbeck on that drive hit a couple of beautiful strikes, 116 yards for the game. He has surpassed Brian Greasy in that total. Each has a touchdown pass. Denver with exactly a minute to go in the half. 2 timeouts left. Greasy buying time, running away from John Randall.
You know, the one thing about John Randall, you can double team him. You can do an awful lot of things to this guy. But the one thing about him is there is absolutely no quit. Number 93, John Randall. He's double team right here. Watch the guy that runs Greasy out of bounds. Look at 93. He catches up to Greasy. I mean, there's just no quitting that guy.
That smile's always there, too.
His 12th year out of Texas A&I.
I wish they'd let him paint his face again. I used to love the masks he used to come up with.
And the way he talked before games. The way he talked during games. Draw play. Davis gets maybe a yard. Anthony Simmons went on the tackle. He had a halftime show coming up. Fastest 3 minutes in television with Chris Berman. The NFC West battle, and try to figure this out, the final BCS standings.
You lose a game by 26 points, and you wind up playing for a national championship. I think there really is something wrong with that BCS system.
I think Colorado and Oregon both got the shaft in that deal. Smith to the 37-yard line, and a timeout with 15 seconds left.
Rod Smith back in the lineup tonight for the Denver Broncos. Been a big part of what they've done. This was the first pass he caught. Getting a little bit looser. Little quick one for first down. There's the last one. Working off. He looks like he's starting to get a little bit more comfortable running on those ankles that are sore.
4 catches tonight. They've thrown to him 5 times. He has 86 grabs for the season. He's got a chance to break Ed McCaffrey's franchise record of 101.
There's a guy that on Thursday could hardly walk.
Yep. And if you want to go back and look at the struggles of the Denver Broncos, it all started in the first game, I think, after they lost Ed McCaffrey. There's Eddie.
Such a great receiver who took so many shots after making brilliant catches. And what a pair of bookend receivers with Smith and McCaffrey they had. Greasy needs some yardage for a field goal, and overthrows, intercepted. Picked off by Marcus Robertson. And Robertson gets back to the 45 and out of bounds.
That is just really intelligent play. Here we are in a stadium where the air is thinner, the ball travels a little bit further. Instead of him trying to cut back and make a play, he headed for the sidelines when he got just enough yards when he thought he'd give him a chance to have a shot at a field goal. There it is. Well overthrown. Montgomery's really covered, and then Marcus Robertson does a really nice job of getting to the sidelines.
Well, they still have 6 seconds, and they have 2 timeouts, so they can actually run one sideline play.
One play, that's it.
One quick sideline play, and then kick it.
Thin air or not, from here to be about 59 yards for Ryan Lindell. And Mike Holmgren, who saw him miss a couple last week, isn't going to go in that direction. This is going to eat up all the time. Hasselbeck is going to have to go for the end zone. Almost caught by Jackson. Had his hands on it and couldn't hold it. Woo. Boy, was that close.
Jackson gets a good position, gets elevated, and just does manage to have it pulled away by Deltha O'Neal. Watch number 24. He's going up with them. The two of them come away with it, and nobody winds up with it. What an effort. Doesn't agree with the call, but what an effort.
Boy, that was close. It would have given the Seahawks the lead on the last play of the first half. But as it is, the Broncos will take a 10-7 halftime lead to the locker room. Sit down to the sideline, Susie Colbert and Mike Holmgren.
Mike, you told us yesterday it was hugely important to match their intensity at the beginning of this game. You've got to be satisfied.
Well, we matched our intensity, but I'm not real happy with we're a little sloppy in some areas. But we're in the game. It's going to be a heck of a game, and I think it'll go down to the wire. We just can't make mistakes when we get down in the scoring area.
You may not be smiling. It seems as though Matt would be. You have opened it up a little bit. Was that part of the game plan, or are you seeing things there Denver has allowed you to do?
Well, they're putting a lot of people up to stop the run, so we have to be able to throw the ball, I think. And so we're trying it tonight a little bit.
Good luck in the second half.
All right, thanks, Susie. Thank you, Mike. Our score here, 10-7 Broncos. Let's join Chris Berman. Ball not turn it over, controlled passing game. Who has executed the game plan better?
Well, I think Seattle did on their last series of downs. Up until then, I think it was Denver.
Boy, I agree. No, I do. Honestly, I really do. I think Seattle finally found themselves. Matt Hasselbeck looked an awful lot more comfortable in the pocket. He put the ball down the field what he had to do. And I don't think either team is going to be able to run the football very effectively. This game falls in the hands of Brian Griese and Matt Hasselbeck. And Brian Griese's got to start making some plays. They've gone 6 quarters, the Denver Broncos have, and don't have a play longer than 15 yards. As a matter of fact, they've only got 2 12-yarders in this game, and that's not going to get it done.
Seattle to kick. Chris Cole, 2 yards deep, he brings it out. And cut down at the 25. Let's check in with Susie.
And Mike, I asked Mike Shanahan about committing to stop Seattle's run and then Hasselbeck beating them deep. He said the main thing is they've got to stop them on 3rd and long. They've just allowed them to convert too many times. As for their offense, he said, yes, Rod Smith is hurting. And Brian moving this team, he said, number one, he's got to concentrate on his own job and then everything will be okay. Of course, Brian did tell us yesterday that he does feel it's a burden to tell all these young guys where they need to be when they break the huddle.
It's a little tough on him when he has to be so concerned about their positioning. Griese after the play action. Under pressure. Nice job of escaping. Now he's got some room. To the 34 and pounced on by Levon Kirkland. And he might be slow getting up because that's 300 pounds landing on him.
Yeah, but that's well, he really is slow getting up. If he's going to get up.
Gus Frerotte is his backup, and Griese very unsteady as he got to his feet.
Did a terrific job of escaping the pressure. Never got the tight end out in the flat.
Boy, look at Brian wobbling.
There comes the pressure. Levon Kirkland just lands on him.
Boy, got a forearm to the side of the helmet as well. So Gus Frerotte, in his 8th year out of Tulsa, comes onto the field to take over for the Broncos while they tend to Brian Griese on the sideline.
Thrown 6 passes this year. Didn't really get a chance to warm up.
This will be a run.
Terrell Davis plugs his way out to the 37-yard line. Michael Sinclair with the tackle.
Watch as Brian goes down. He lands on the ground, and then Kirkland just smacks him on top of the head. And as you see him sit on the sidelines, you can see that glazed look. There's the shot on the top of the head.
And right now, Brian is trying to figure out what day it is.
This is where they hold up fingers, and you guess. If you guess right, you go back in. If you guess wrong, they give you another test 10 minutes later.
Farad under pressure. Throws it away. Had a receiver out there. Had Desmond Clark within about 5 yards. Chad Brown going for the sack. Couldn't get him down.
He had Chad Brown around his waist. I'll tell you, that Farad on this play here, he was really lucky to get this ball away. Look at Chad Brown. He's coming right in front. And there is absolutely not a blue jersey that even slowed him down. He's lined up on the outside, blitzed from the outside, and nobody blocked him.
Farad had his best years with the Redskins. Played very well. Chad Brown was a Pro Bowler for the Steelers before he came here. Coming. Farad under pressure. They've got him, and the ball is loose. The Seahawks have it at the 23.
John Randall again. You said you wouldn't see him other than double teaming. Well, Chad Brown came from the outside, number 94. John Randall came right up the middle, and they just stripped the ball.
They may have to go to triple teams then if double teams aren't working against John Randall.
Randall applied the pressure. Brown got the football.
John Randall, I mean, they had a deal with he and Chad Eaton. Look at this right up the middle. John Randall grabs the ball. Chad Brown reaches down and picks it up. Wasn't for one arm. He has a touchdown.
They just got him around the ankle. Big break for the Seahawks. Alexander. Not much. Picked up a couple to the 23. Alexander's not had a lot of room to run tonight.
Gus Farad really had nowhere to go. You get that many people around you, the only thing you can do is try and wrap the football up and protect it.
Boy, that's good defense. When you know you've got a guy in there who has come in cold off the bench, you just go after him.
Yep. Well, Steve Sidwell, the defensive coordinator, realizes that they've got to put as much pressure on their quarterbacks as Denver's tried to do to Matt Hasselbeck.
2nd and 9. Draw play, Alexander again. The Denver defense doesn't give him any room to operate. Al Wilson, the middle linebacker, the leading tackler on this club, was the first man there.
At the end of the half, Mike Holmgren said to Susie, you know, they're stopping the run. They're putting 8 guys at the line of scrimmage. We're going to have to go down the field with the ball. Now you get a turnover. I think the first thing you do is go for their throat and go into the end zone and try to score.
I don't agree with that. Wait,
I didn't ask if you agreed. I just want to tell you that's what I thought.
I'm making a statement then. I don't agree with that. Simply because Mike Holmgren has not taken that approach in the last 8 ball games. He's taken a more conservative way to go, and that's what he did the first couple plays here.
Well, Ricky Waters
is in on 3rd and 9. Hasselbeck under pressure, throws incomplete. Short hopped it to Darrell Jackson, and Hasselbeck holding his left arm. He's hurt. You see him flexing that hand. He really took a shot. Monte Rager hit him just as he threw.
This is the pressure. They only bring 4 that time. Just as he gets hit, he winds up hitting that left elbow. Monte Rager.
Number 99. They haven't slowed him down. And you know what that is again, Joe? Chris Gray.
Lindell will try from 41 yards. And he missed it. Lindell, who struggled a week ago, misses this one. Greasy on his feet. Will he come back in? Temporarily, at least, both teams have lost their starting quarterbacks.
That's Hasselbeck under there.
And there is Brian Greasy. We'll get an update from Susie in a moment. Gus Farad in at quarterback for the Denver Broncos. And Farad to throw. Good protection. Throws wide, incomplete. Let's check in with Susie.
Mike, on that last series, we saw Brian Greasy take this mean hit, and you can see his head hit the turf. Now, they're calling it a knock to the head. He spent quite a bit of time on the bench with the trainers. He was up for a bit, but as you see, he's back on the bench. Again, they are saying he is questionable, possible concussion, hit to the head. Can this offense endure another injury to one of its stars?
Well, you wouldn't think so, Susie. They are so thin, and your starting quarterback such an integral part, and that is Matt Lepsis, the starting right tackle. He is down. We will check on him and Hasselbeck when we come back. Monday Night Football is brought to you by Levi's Boot Fit Jeans, not just for cowboys. By Fujitsu, the possibilities are infinite. And by the Sony Vaio MX-PC. Larimer Square in downtown Denver, another area of shops and restaurants. Very cosmopolitan city. Brian Griese still on the sidelines. Gus Frerotte in at quarterback. Empty backfield. Three-man rush. Flanker screen to Rod Smith.
Rod Smith is so much a spark plug for this offense. They really, because he's been hurt, they've missed any semblance of a deep threat. And they haven't had a play over 12 yards. Really over 15 in the last 6.5 quarters. And their passing game just continues to be little dink and dunks. And it's not what the Denver Broncos want to do.
Cooper Carlisle has checked in for Matt Lepsis at right tackle. Lepsis was able to leave the field, but needed some support. 3rd and 3 for the Broncos. Blitz coming behind Smith. Had him open in front of Willie Williams.
Well, you know, in all fairness, though, to Gus Frerotte, and we say this every week when the backup quarterback comes in, and honestly, folks, they don't get the snaps from center. They don't get the practice during the course of the week. And, you know, that I know they're supposed to be prepared.
Timeout.
Okay.
He works practice for the Broncos. Gus Frerotte does get some time to throw. I think he's going to take a little time to get into the rhythm of the game, but I would expect him to play at a high level right away. He's had enough experience to be able to do it.
Ruined to punt to Charlie Rogers. Nice high hanger. Rogers was bumped, makes the fair catch, and was hit after it, complaining to the official, but everybody thought that ball came loose. 44-yard kick, and Matt Hasselbeck takes the field again for Seattle, down by a field goal. Broncos lead at 10-7. We're at Invesco Field at Mile High in Denver. Beautiful new facilities for the Broncos. Matt Hasselbeck sacked twice tonight. He's thrown for 116 yards, 1 score, 1 pick. Hasselbeck this time throws complete to Corn Robinson, who gets extra yards out to the 39 before John Mobley tracked him down. Gain of 21. Matt Hasselbeck came with virtually no experience to the Seahawks. First 5 games completed only 52%, had 5 picks in the last 4 games. He has hit 62% of his passes. The sacks are way down. And it's just an indication that he's become more familiar with the offense and more protective of the football. Starting to grow into the role. Alexander trying to get to the outside. Nothing there. The Denver defense has done a great job on the ground. Let's check in with Susan.
And Mike, I asked Matt Hasselbeck yesterday how he deals with this conservative game plan, and he said, well, I'm trying, but it's good to have Trent Dilfer around. Dilfer won a Super Bowl with the Ravens by playing conservative, mistake-free football, has shown him it's okay to be conservative. He says, yes, at times, you want to pull your hair out. It's painful to watch, it's painful to play in, but it works. And tonight, he's opening it up a little bit.
And he's going to need to do it a little more, too. Hasselbeck with time, almost picked off. Kenoy Kennedy had a shot at it.
Bobby Ingram was the intended receiver, and Bobby Ingram is going to come from the left of Hasselbeck. Look at this throw across. Ingram never gets there. That's just a bad throw by Hasselbeck.
Kenoy Kennedy does a really nice job of breaking on this ball. Of course, if he catches it real good, he'd probably be a wide receiver.
3rd and 9 for Seattle. They're down by 3. Hasselbeck deep out and picked off by Jimmy Spencer. So Hasselbeck avoided the bullet on one play with the interception and then turns around and throws a strike to Spencer.
And that time, Bobby Ingram just slipped coming out of his break. And this ball winds up going high on Matt Hasselbeck. Matt goes back.
10-7 Denver. Sideline after taking a shot to the head. Gus Frerotte in at quarterback for the Broncos in such a critical game for them. 1st and 10 from the 45 after Jimmy Spencer's interception. End around, double reverse. Kevin Casper. And belted out of bounds by Marcus Robertson.
I tell you, Chad Brown is so upset because he felt he was tackled, and I don't know if he's going to be able to come around and catch Casper anyway.
Handoff, fake the handoff to Davis, to Rod Smith. Casper now he hits the hole perfectly. Part of the track contingent from Iowa.
That was a 27-yard play, the first play over 15 yards since Thanksgiving. And they had to use a double reverse to get it. Frerotte swings it too low for Terrell Davis.
Gus Frerotte seems a little bit rushed and a little bit hurried. He'll get into the flow of this thing, I think, as they manage to get some first downs. He gets a chance to settle down a little bit. Right now, he's in a wee bit of a hurry to get the ball out, and he knows it. And looking at Brian Griese, I wouldn't be real certain to see him anymore in this football game. He just doesn't seem like he can focus on anything.
Frerotte, tough start, 1 out of 5. And now he's going to have to use a timeout. Let's check in with Susie Culver.
And Mike, this team is the walking wounded. Ed, how much more can this team endure?
I mean, unfortunately, it's part of the game, and you never know when they're going to happen. Sometimes it's one at a time. Sometimes there's a bunch of guys get hurt all at the same time. But that's why you have good backups, and that's why you have the backups practice hard during the week to get ready to get a chance to go in and make something happen.
Your progress. Are you on target for training camp?
Yeah, I'm on target, ahead of schedule. Got another X-ray today. They say the bone's healing well. Just a matter of time.
Your teammates say you barely say 2 words in the huddle, yet your impact and your leadership are unmatched. What's your philosophy about playing this game?
I don't know. I think you really have to work hard and you have to have fun. I was at the point this year where I was really having fun playing football, playing alongside Rod and to work with Brian and the other guys on the team. And I really thought we had a lot of chemistry as an offense. It hurts to go out, and they depended on me, and I love being out there. But I hope they'll be back.
Good luck with the comeback.
Thank you.
Frerotte, and that one is knocked away at the line of scrimmage. Chad Brown came in to get a hand on it. They were trying to throw that little flanker screen, and without Ed McCaffrey, who was hurt in the first ball game, they're missing 101 receptions. He caught 6 balls before he went out. Rod Smith is going to pass his last year's numbers or if he doesn't have any further injuries. The other wide receivers who caught only 7 balls a year ago have had to step up, and they come through with only 44. McCaffrey, one of the real tough guys in this business. Ron Coleman is in on 3rd and 10 for the Broncos. Seattle comes with a blitz. Frerotte down the sideline, and that will be interference. The rookie Ken Lucas had a big grasp of Rod Smith.
Well, I think the fact of the matter is at least the Broncos have opened it up and are trying to go down the field. Up top of your screen, number 80 against number 21. He gives him one bump, and then he just gets out in front of him too far. The ball's really not thrown close to him, but you see him push and shove, and it's a good call.
And boy, do they miss Sean Springs, who has been suspended for 4 games because of steroid use at that corner. So Lucas, instead of being the nickelback, has to start along with Willie Williams. First down at the 11, empty backfield. Quick throw to Carter. Bowling his way inside the 1. Tony Carter, only his 6th catch of the season.
This is one of those deals where they throw the ball out to the fullback. He catches it. And I'm going to tell you, if you don't hit him at the knees, you're not going to do anything. Watch this. They try to tackle him high. That's Reggie Tongue. And watch the strength of Carter. He takes him all the way to the 1-yard line.
He could have bought a ticket for that ride.
And Reggie Tongue is a pretty tough guy at strong safety. Carter just bowled him down.
You got to hit the big guys low.
Two tight ends. Carter the up back, Davis the deep man. Terrell Davis. Fake. Throwing the flat. Touchdown. Patrick Hape with his third receiving touchdown of the season, and he was wide open after a great fake by Farad.
Well, I'll tell you what, Terrell Davis is the guy that sells it. Farad makes an excellent fake, but Terrell Davis carries it through. Watch him dive, number 30, into the line. Right there. He sells it. They all look inside. Hape's to the outside. Well, here goes Terrell now. Watch this. Watch him dive.
Here's the point after, and you have to hand it to Mike Shanahan and Gary Kubiak, because when Gus Farad came in for the injured Brian Griese, they didn't cut back on anything. They run the offense that they have, and if it's Gus Farad's job to do.
To be honest with you, it looked like they even opened it up a little bit more. They put the ball down the field. Now, I understand last week against Miami why they were more conservative, because they had young wide receivers against two excellent corners that the Dolphins have. Tonight, they felt like they could open it up a little bit more. The reverse to Casper gets things started. The interference on Rod Smith gets you down close. And anytime you have Terrell Davis in the backfield and you need 1 or 2 yards for a first down or a touchdown, you've got to believe that he's a guy that gets that kind of respect.
And Gus Farad obviously warming to the task as Denver takes a 17-7 lead. Kubiak and Farad. Scoring drive, 55 yards in only a minute and 36. Kubiak totally in charge of the offensive play calling, something that Mike Shanahan had done previously in his career, something he enjoys doing. But you want to give the coaches you want to keep, like your coordinator, as much responsibility as possible, and Shanahan has done that with Gary Kubiak. Lucas has been picked on a little bit tonight and had the big penalty on that drive. Charlie Rogers is deep as Elam has it teed up at the 30. And now Seattle will have to respond. Down 10. Rodgers from inside the 5. Nice return up to the 29-yard line. Next Sunday night at 7:30, join Chris Berman and Tom Jackson for NFL Primetime. And then the bus, Jerome Bettis and the Steelers against Ray Lewis and the Ravens on ESPN Sunday Night Football at 8:28 Eastern. That will be fun. It will be the second meeting for the Steelers and the Ravens. This is the first game in Week 8. Watch the hit by Ray Lewis on the bus. Whew. Ouch.
Yeah, but the bus didn't come up with a flat tire either.
Yeah,
right on moving.
But you really have to take your hat off to the job that Cordell Stewart and Mike Mularkey, the new offensive coordinator there in Pittsburgh. Cordell has played sensationally. Look at the numbers. Total yards, Baltimore 183, Pittsburgh 348. In a game they lost.
And a team that relies on its defense to rack up 348 yards and get only 10 points. And that was the day they had just a horrible time with field goals.
They had a horrible time with it today.
Yes, they did. Darius Clark is the injured player. We'll check on him in a second.
Gary Kubiak and Gus Farad. Now what they're looking at is those are stills of the way the defense first of all lines up, and also how they deploy in different pass coverages. They want to see what they're doing to different formations that the Broncos will put up. See how Seattle, are they matching up linebackers on backs? Are the corners staying on the same sides of the field? Those are all things that are revealed in those photos.
You have a Denver player down at the 25-yard line, and that's what the delay is.
Had a few guys ding tonight. Clark able to get up, and we'll get some assistance. He joined us late. Brian Creasy took a blow to the head. He's been out. Gus Frerotte led the last touchdown drive for the Broncos. There's Brian. Clark is 47. Looks like he could have hyperextended a leg or a hip even.
His left knee, when he got up, he can't put any pressure at all on it.
So 7:29 to go, third quarter. Seattle takes over at its own 29. Ricky Waters out to the 34. Denard Walker up from the corner to make the tackle.
Seattle needs to settle down and start to run the football a little bit and take some of the pressure off of Matt Hasselbeck.
Joe, you said you didn't think they'd be able to run well, and they haven't tonight. Alexander with only 26 yards rushing. Ricky Waters with 21. You see the numbers on Hasselbeck.
And you see the guys around the line of scrimmage, the Bronco defenders.
Hasselbeck with time and throws complete to Darrell Jackson. Covered by Walker.
You know, it really is the thing you have to do. We've been talking about this for about 11 weeks. And when you've got 8 guys in that, which they call a box, and they're forcing you to pass, go ahead and throw the ball. You don't have, you can run all the short routes you want.
The other thing, I still think you have to try, just in a token way, to try and run the football, even if you gain 1 or 2 yards, just to keep the defense semi-honest.
6 minutes at the line of scrimmage on this play. They bring 5. Hasselbeck double and triple clutch. Hit from behind and sacked by Reggie Hayward. That's his second of the night.
And again, this is Hasselbeck's fault. You do not have that much time. There's got to be a clock in your head that tells you, I've got to get rid of this ball. Look how much time he spends looking around. Your offensive line is good, but they're not that good.
That's when the clock got unplugged. Old short circuit lightning hit the house and the clock stopped.
Denver defense has done a nice job tonight. Hasselbeck has been hassled tonight. 4 hurries, 2 hits, 4 knockdowns, and 3 big sacks. Pressure again. Hasselbeck goes down. That's the 4th sack. Keith Washington. And Trevor Price was there, and Hayward again.
Well, when we talked about Hasselbeck holding the ball in that offensive line, we saw him do very well against the Raiders, but that isn't happening here tonight in Denver. Look at Hasselbeck. Look at the pressure. That's his fault, holding on the ball too long. That one was not his fault. And that one there, he just gets drilled, but they've been knocking him around all night long.
Seattle now facing a 3rd down. Hasselbeck under pressure again. Got away this time. Room to run, and slides in at the 38, well shy of a 1st down.
No, that's not a bad decision. Instead of just throwing the ball up for grabs down the field, go get what you can. Your defense has played fairly well all night, and let them go play. Here comes the pressure again. Trevor Price, number 93, tries for the hat trick. Hasselbeck looks, can't find what he wants. Now he makes the decision to go. Now just put it away. Don't put it in your left hand like it's a lunch bucket.
And that was Seattle's longest run of the night, 10 yards by the scrambling quarterback. Delta O'Neal waits at the 10 for Fugel's kick. Another good one. O'Neal pinned at the sideline. Runs into his own man. He's down at the 13. 4-yard return after a beautiful 54-yard kick by Fuegels. We're at Mile High, and it's 17-7 Broncos. Talking with his quarterback, who had to scramble on that last play and has been under constant pressure tonight.
Come on, Denver Broncos!
Pretty tough to play quarterback when you can't even get your feet set. Denver takes over from its own 13. Frerotte throws wide of Desmond Clark. Marcus Robertson out there in coverage.
Gus Frerotte, to me, looks in such a hurry to get back and get rid of the football. Almost every throw he's made has been low and away or just downright low. He's got to relax a little bit, settle down. 3 for 9 for 18 yards, got the 1 touchdown, helped out by a pass interference.
Terrell Davis, as you saw, held only 27 yards running the ball tonight. 2nd and 10. Frerotte over the middle. Rod Smith on a crossing route. Levon Kirkland grabbed him by the neck and spun him down.
When I see Levon Kirkland in coverage and then watch how much speed he has, number 99 is the biggest middle linebacker in all of football. But look at him close on Rod Smith. I mean, that guy can cover some ground.
You know, he never got the credit. He played inside in Pittsburgh where they played a 3-4 defense. And I don't think he ever got the credit that he was due because of his ability to play the middle linebacker position. Now, hopefully a couple years, he'll get a chance to get recognized for it.
He's listed at 275, but I don't think so. Smith. That'll be a first down. Denver out to the 27-yard line. Ike Charlton took him down.
That was a much more relaxed delivery by Gus Frerotte. Rod Smith just pressing up.
Well, those Seattle corners have certainly given Rod Smith some room to operate. You would think coming off 2 bad ankles, they'd be a little closer on him.
I wouldn't want to take a chance, though. I think they're doing the right thing. Let them nickel and dime their way if they want.
Almost exclusively going to the air here. This one's to the sideline. And incomplete, intended for Chris Cole. And Charlton was out there right in his face.
They've taken Kenny Lucas out, and they're playing Charlton on that right corner. Kenny Lucas being the rookie that they've attacked. There he is. They've attacked him a few times tonight.
Gave up that big interference play in the last series that led to the touchdown. 2nd and 10 for Denver. Seattle jumps offside. Davis breaks a couple of tackles. Terrell Davis. Reggie Tongue tracking him down and pushed him out of bounds at the 15.
Boy, I tell you, Joe, this is the classic example of going offside and then everybody almost stopped.
Right. Exactly. Everybody relaxes just for a second, except one guy.
Terrell.
One guy didn't relax, and that was Terrell Davis.
57 yards.
Chad Eaton jumps offside. Now watch everybody stop, except your guy, Joe, number 30.
They don't, and you're right, Paul, you're right. They really don't stop. They just hesitate for a second. But he does a terrific job of breaking both tackles on that one. Now, this is where you see he is not the old TD.
Not in shape yet.
He can't open it up. He cannot get to that 4th gear. He forgot. He told me on Friday, he said, you know, I haven't been in the open so long, I forgot what it's like to run in the open field. You got to look at it there.
Mike Anderson in to give Davis a breather. Frerotte, nice play fake. Throws on the run. Smith to the 5.
Boy, I'll tell you what, he just took Charlton to school. Rod Smith takes him to the inside and plays right off. And watch Rod Smith. Here, play off. Back to the outside. I thought you said he had bad ankles.
Yeah, well, he's loose. And I thought you said that when he sat down, they didn't get stiff.
That's what he said.
See, you were right.
1st and goal. Broncos already leading 17-7 with a chance to really open it up. Anderson in a full house backfield. Got to the 3, then pushed back.
Terrell got his little break. Now he's back in.
What a luxury to have Anderson. They also had Olandis Gary, who is now out with a broken leg.
Hey, the guy that did a job with Terrell went down, Atlanta's Gary went down, and the only guy they had in that backfield was that guy Anderson right there, and he comes up with 100 and some yards in the game, and they win the game.
The NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year a season ago. Play action by Farad, and he just throws this one into the cheap seats.
You know what you do on a play like that as a quarterback? Seriously. Yeah, well, what you do is you make the play fake. Nobody's there, and then you try and throw it through the uprights. I mean, you know you're throwing it away, so you either pick out somebody in the stands or you try and throw it through the uprights.
Now, why isn't that intentional grounding?
And Smith did not look very nimble.
Great question.
Coming back on the field.
What an answer, Mike.
They have never called it a downfield pass like that. Ever.
That's the answer?
Yep. They called it once on Dan Marino and then took it back. 3rd and goal. And that went right through the hands of Rod Smith. A rare drop by the Pro Bowler.
Gus comes over, gives him a little pat on the head. Excellent throw. Rod Smith in perfect position. That ball just skates right off his forearm. Doesn't use his hands. A rare occasion when he doesn't get his hands on the ball. Really mad at himself.
Elam is on to try from 21. He's already hit from 42. Elam knocks it through. And it's 20-7. Denver's managed to get the crowd back in this ball game as they have gone up by 13 points. Check in with Susie.
Mike, we saw Terrell Davis's big run in the last series. He has been proving people wrong his entire career. He pointed out to us he wasn't a blue chip prospect. He was a 6th-round draft choice. Nobody thought he could make it in this league. Now everyone was saying he can't overcome all of the injuries. He loves that. It's a challenge. It motivates him. All the injuries, but he's still back. And he says as long as he has the desire and the fire, he'll keep coming back.
Wouldn't want to count this guy out, and as Joe said, not quite in football shape yet, or he would have taken that one to the house. But when he gets back, they have a true weapon at their disposal.
Did you see what he did at the end of that run? Just switching the ball from his right hand to his left hand?
Look at the numbers through the first 75 games for Terrell Davis. Look who is ahead of him. Eric Dickerson and Earl Campbell. Look who he is ahead of. Jim Brown and Walter Payton. Wouldn't you love to be on that list?
No, I was a quarterback.
Joe's on an interception.
If I was Bobby Douglas, I'd love to be on that list.
In '98 was when Terrell Davis had his 2,000-yard season. One of a handful of players ever to do that. That was his longest run since '98. Kerry Joseph takes the short kickoff. And the former college quarterback gets it out to the 30.
Well, whatever conversation, TD enjoying the moment, whatever conversation Mike Holmgren had with Matt Hasselbeck, we'll see if it's sunk in. Went over, had a chance to talk to him. Trent Dilfer was sitting next to him.
I think what he said to him is if you can't take 2 losses and end up with 3rd and 30 and expect to get a first down, you're going to get a headache.
Might have also said, tell your offensive lineman to protect you a little better. Pressure again, screen to Waters. Nice cutback by Ricky Waters, and has the first down out to the 43. With all the pressure that they've had with that pass rush, that's a pretty good call to slow it down a little bit.
I can assure you it's not going to slow it down.
Then they'll keep calling the screen.
You better. Because other than that, you're not going to have much time to throw.
That's the end of the 3rd quarter. 20-7 Broncos, a game with playoff implications so far. The Broncos have seemed to want it more. We start the 4th quarter. They're down by 13. Invesco Field at Mile High.
Beautiful stadium there.
Sold out for the 255th consecutive non-strike game. Waters on the toss. Just hasn't been much to the running game tonight as Denard Walker knocked him out of bounds. Denver job against the Seattle rushing attack.
Well, the thing about it is, when you've got 8 in the box, which we've talked about many times, and 3 of those guys are the linebackers that lead this team in tackles, it's very difficult to run against this team.
2nd and 8 from the Seattle 45. Broncos have dominated the second half. Pass it back deep down the middle. Fourier was wide open. See, there wasn't a soul within 10 yards.
Let me tell you what I don't like about Matt Hasselbeck. And you saw it right at the end of that play. He takes and just snaps his chin strap off. First of all, Christian Fourier is so wide open down the middle, you could walk out there and drop it to him. That's a big play he's missed. And then as soon as the play is over, he slaps his chin. That's body language. And I'll tell you, his teammates see it and everybody sees it. He can't let himself get that emotionally down.
And he addressed that earlier this year. He said that's something he's got to learn. Boy, was Fourier open. And this one is overthrown to the sideline. It was intercepted but out of bounds by Delta O'Neal. That would have been his 8th of the year.
And don't walk off the field. Jog off the field like you're a quarterback.
Get your head up.
There you go.
It's a good thing he threw that thing wide.
Oh, what an opportunity they missed on the pass to Christian Fourier. And Mike Holmgren is really upset.
Well, when you're the offensive coordinator and the head coach in this instance, you know, you call a play, you've got guys down the middle of the field wide open. In a game like this, you don't get that many opportunities.
Fiegels to kick to O'Neal. Short kick that will go out of bounds near the 15. 40-yard kick and no return. There's a marker down back at the 44-yard line.
Holding against Seattle.
And another Seahawk mistake.
Holding 57 kicking team. 10-yard penalty. Remains 4th down.
Orlando Huff and Mike Holmgren saying who?
Well, the only problem is that you have to kick that ball again to Delta O'Neal.
Actually, it was a good kick, went out of bounds on about the 16-yard line. Christian Fourier he still can't, but he says, I've never had I guarantee he's never been that wide open in a pass route in his 7 years in the game. I just can't imagine, other than running up and down the field in warm-ups.
Fiegels to kick to O'Neal again. Put a little pressure on him. More of a line drive, and O'Neal from the 22. Oh! Well, he won't need a clock for Christmas. He just got his cleaned. Tim Terry, the linebacker. What a shot after a 5-yard return. 7 charging Broncos done in bronze by the renowned Italian sculptor Sergio Benvenuti. Pat Bolin and his family gave the sculptures as a gift to the people of Denver. Nice play fake by Farrat. Now under pressure.
Hold her there.
Dumps it off, and the tight end Carswell gets about a yard.
With Gus Farrat, the Broncos have decided that, well, maybe running the football won't be the best thing. 17 pass attempts, only 4 rushes. That's because Seattle's just got so many people around the line of scrimmage. Seattle and Denver defensively have decided that they want to stop their big guns. For Denver, Terrell Davis, and for Seattle, Sean Alexander. The onus has been placed on the quarterbacks. In this case, Gus Farrat looks like he's starting to settle into a bit of a rhythm.
And that means opportunities. Rod Smith, their favorite target, in the slot left. Instead they go on the ground, this one to Davis. And Davis reaches the 34. The line to get the first down up at the 36. John Hilliard made the stop that time on Terrell.
You know, the one thing John Randall was telling us yesterday about this offensive line, it's not a great big offensive line for the Denver Broncos, but he said in the 4th quarter, they still have a whole lot of energy and they can move the big people around. And on that play, the offensive line won the battle.
Terrell Davis, when you throw in that 57-yarder, is now rushed for 90 yards on the night. 3rd and 3, Denver. And it looked like Antonio Cochran either jumped or was drawn off. Cochran is applauding. And it will go against Denver. Lenny Friedman walks dejectedly back toward the huddle. So now instead of 3rd and short, it's 3rd and 8.
There's a sign of a bored back. Just sitting there watching things going on.
There's a sign of a back that hadn't been able to help his team all night.
3rd and 8 for Gus Farrar. Blitz coming, throws over the middle. Ball came loose. Is it complete or not?
Scotty Montgomery took a whack as soon as if he did catch the ball, he took a whack. Number 83 is Scotty Montgomery coming in. And just take a look at this. Boom, he's got the ball. He takes a hit.
Ground caused it anyway, so would have been a fumble.
The 7th catch of the year for Scotty Montgomery, who started the season on the practice squad. Terrell Davis, nice hole up the middle. He pounds his way out to the 44.
The other thing that we saw with Seattle going 3 and out in a couple of series, what you wind up doing is leaving the defense out on the field, and they never get a chance to catch their breath. So all of a sudden, Denver starts to grind away, and then you're going to see Terrell Davis or Mike Anderson maybe with, instead of a 3-yard carry, a 5-yard carry like we saw on the last one.
And Chad Brown, you saw on the sideline. 2nd and 4. Nice fake by Farrar. Rifles his throw, first down at the 45. Carswell with a catch. Reggie Tongue was there but couldn't prevent the completion. Farrar seems to be finding a rhythm here, doesn't he?
Well, he looks more comfortable. Remember I said he was rushing him earlier? Now they've got him run a little play action, turn it, set, fire. The delivery looks an awful lot looser.
Here comes Carswell across the middle. Just take a look at, and there's just no chance. Reggie Tongue, this ball is thrown in the perfect position.
Farrar now up to 50%, and he and Greasy have hit 10 different receivers in this ballgame. Davis gains about 3 on that play. Kirkland stopped him.
I'm going to tell you, this is a situation really when the Denver Broncos in their offensive line. Now, I know there have been some guys in and out of this offensive line, but they are not as big as most offensive lines in football. And when they get to the 4th quarter, because they are in such great shape and they are a little bit lighter, they seem to be able to move the bigger guys around.
They have great technique. 2nd and 7. Anderson checks in at tailback. Farrar fumbles the snap, got it back, still has plenty of time, and just overthrows Smith.
You know, this is a classic example about this deep offensive line against the defensive line. Farrar drops the ball. He reaches down and picks the ball up. He goes back and throws a pass, and nobody, absolutely nobody from Seattle's defensive line left the line of scrimmage. Watch this. Bang, the ball's down. Look at all the guys that are on the line of scrimmage. He's got all day to throw this football.
Yeah, this is one you don't want to miss. Rod Smith has got Ike Charlton beat going up the field by about 2 yards.
Well, when you take a 5-step drop after fumbling the snap and still have guys 5 yards away from you, that's pretty good. Farrar short set this time and throws a strike. Got it in there to Kevin Casper. That was pretty. Casper, the rookie 6th-round draft choice out of Iowa.
6th round's been real good to the Broncos.
Yes, it has. Davis was a 6th-round pick in '95.
Boy, Gus Farrar just sets and lets this go. He's got a strong arm. I mean, Charlton's arm is out there, but that ball just goes flying through. Can't quite get a hand on it.
First down at the 31. Denver trying to put this one away. Davis breaks it outside, and that will be a holding call. This one will come back. Chad Brown was on the corner, and Carswell just had a couple of fistfuls of his jersey.
I was going to say, Terrell Davis has got it all back. Not all together back, but to make this kind of a move, somebody has to hold. Here's Carswell on Chad Brown, 89 on 94. That's holding. That's holding. That's easy.
Good little stutter step by TD, though. Getting back into the flow of it. I have to believe that part of his goal is to be able to get through game after game after game and be sore, but a good sore, where you don't have to go in for treatment, where if you want to go in for treatment, you can on Monday, not that you have to.
And he's also one of those backs, Joe, that he just never likes to come off the field. And getting himself back into shape, playing shape, he has to.
1st and 20, empty backfield for Farrar. Deep drop, the protection finally breaks down, and Randall wraps him up for the sack. John Randall, who terrorized this team in the first meeting, gets his 2nd sack of the night. Randall with Minnesota, remember when we did his games there? He would always be in double digits in sacks from the tackle spot. Then they moved him out to end for a couple of years, and he was just lost out there.
Well, he needs to be in the middle. He needs to be in the middle, and let them double team if they want, because that means somebody else better be free.
2nd and 24, they pushed him all the way back past the 45-yard line. But instead, they'll give it off to Karan Coleman. Brian Gracie, who took a blow to the head earlier and has not returned since then. Here's the comparison on the star running backs. And Alexander with only 26 yards tonight. Terrell Davis 2 yards away from hitting 100 against a team he has owned.
How about Denver this drive? 10 plays, 6 minutes and 45 seconds so far.
Nice solid tackle by Marcus Bell on Coleman. Couldn't get to the outside.
Now, do you punt?
Well, you sure don't go for it.
Well, I think you punt it in lieu of trying a field goal.
Ruin is going to come on. It would be a 52-yard field goal try. The fans are booing.
I think
they're up 20-7. I don't get it.
I agree totally, because if you try a field goal and this thing is blocked, you put them right back in the ball game. With a punt, your defense is playing extremely well.
Totally agree with you. Well done, Professor.
Thank you. Well, you let me in there.
Ruin hangs it sky high. What a kick by Ruin, and they down it at the 5. Beautiful job of Chris Cole, the wide receiver, to get downfield under it, and Ruin just put that straight up an elevator shaft. Back in Denver, this is the 16th Street Mall. Some folks enjoying a carriage ride as the holidays approach. Seattle not enjoying a trip to Denver all that much. They take over just outside the 5. Hasselbeck still looking and throws it away.
Deltha O'Neal did a good job of taking away Darrell Jackson as they tried to go up top. I like the call when you're backed up in your own end. Make them defend 96 yards, 94 yards of the field.
6:07 to go in the ball game, and Matt Hasselbeck in the second half only 3 out of 9, 43 yards and a pick. They haven't been able to get anything done. Blitz coming. They pick it up, Alexander in the flat. Romanowski waiting for him and won't let him get to the 10.
Denver talked about their linebackers playing a lot better. They felt like they didn't play a very good game the first time these two teams played. And Romo said that this was going to be a different set. Al Wilson, the middle linebacker. You see Bill Romanowski drop back out into the flat. Sean Alexander trying to put the moves on him. John Mobley coming over. There's all three of them on the play.
Romanowski's such a sure tackler. And it's starting to get loud at Mile High. Hasselbeck. Wide open Darrell Jackson. Joe, they have missed so many opportunities, they finally hit one.
Well, he missed him down the middle a lot. Obviously, he's found his strength throwing it out to the side a little bit more. This was a perfectly thrown pass. Left part of your screen. Matt does a nice job. He gets the ball out in rhythm. When he knows what he wants to do with the football, he's thrown the football very effectively. When he gets a little bit confused by the defensive alignment, he holds it a little bit. Isn't near as good.
Go back to Fourier.
That was a 39-yard gain. Jackson now over 100. They do go back to Fourier, but too low and complete.
You yelled at him too late, Paul. Felt like Darrell Jackson had to come up with some big plays. There's his receptions. 3 plays over 25 yards or thereabouts. But the big key is no touchdowns. That's the big key. Denver's defense has given up some yards, but they haven't given up any scores.
And Seattle has to put points on the board here, and they need a touchdown, not a field goal. Another blitz coming. Better job of picking it up. And another strike. Corin Robinson makes the catch and goes out of bounds.
I think you're absolutely right. Don't let Matt Hasselbeck throw the ball down the middle of the field. Make sure he throws it to either sideline, because when he does that, he throws over people.
Wait, and you got to remember something. The fourth quarter has not been very kind to the Denver Broncos. They've seen too much of this in recent games, their last 4 games. So now they've got to just really be careful that they don't make a mistake and, you know, something crazy like wind up losing this thing 21-20.
First and 10 from the 31. Another blitz. Hasselbeck in trouble, and he's sacked back at the 40. Bertrand Berry out of Notre Dame, the free agent, gets a sack.
Levon Kirkland looking at what is going on.
Matt Hasselbeck looked like he was ready to take off and do something with this ball long before he ever got set in the pocket. Watch when he goes back. He sets. I mean, he doesn't really find a place to step up. Not there are many places to step up, but he looked like he was ready to go in a heartbeat.
Yeah, Romanowski would have killed him.
Sacked 5 times tonight.
Throw it.
Plenty of times here, dumps it off. Max Strong, the fullback, loses the hat. Reaches the 32. And still down is the middle linebacker, Al Wilson, who got the worst of that collision.
That's the old coach in me. Throw it. I mean, you wait so long, you've got to get rid of it.
Helmet to helmet between Wilson and Strong. Now it's 3rd and 10. They got the yardage back, lost on the sack. Hasselbeck to Strong again. Stays in bounds, fighting for extra yards.
Tried to pick up the first down. That's one instance where I wouldn't fault somebody for not running out of bounds. Try and pick up the first down if you can. Seattle still has 3 timeouts.
An obvious 4-down territory here on 4th and very short.
I think you pick up the first down, you spike the ball if you want, save your timeouts, and try and get the next ones in the end zone.
Strong and Alexander are the backs. Alexander has the first down just shy of the 20.
Now you got to keep this 2:45 left.
See, actually, the way they're unpiling here, they're just kind of walking around. I wouldn't even use one of my timeouts now. There's just so much time going off this clock. They're going to go all the way down. They're going to lose about 25 seconds just waiting for a play to get in and getting off the line of scrimmage.
There is no sense of urgency for the Seattle Seahawks whatsoever. I don't understand this. They've lost 25 seconds at this point right now, and it's still going down.
Well, I know.
Hasselbeck knocked away. Good defensive play by Delta O'Neal. Clock stops at 2:08. And Seattle has wasted a ton of time in the last 3 or 4 plays.
Boy, that's a nice play, though.
That ball just took too long to get there.
Delta O'Neal played it perfectly, and Mike is so mad. Matt Hasselbeck really is not anticipating the breaks.
Ricky Waters comes in 2nd and 10. Waters on the screen. Good stiff arm to get some extra yards, but Al Wilson had him at the 15. And we have reached the 2-minute warning. Seattle still down by 13 points, but driving. Timeout on the field. Back to Denver after that. Dan Patrick and Rich Eisen standing by with Sports Center. The Huskers come up roses in the BCS. A Sunday conversation with the biggest of the big. And Boomer will be along with his top 10 plays. 3rd and 5. The Denver defense trying to dig in.
Again, trying to avoid a 4th quarter collapse.
Waters, the tailback. Sean Alexander is in as a wide receiver. He's split wide left. And Hasselbeck has to use a timeout. Holy cow. Coming off a timeout at the 2-minute warning. Denver approaching the sound level of a rock concert, and I don't mean for yawning. Hasselbeck for the end zone. Jackson couldn't hold it. Eric Brown on the coverage, but that looked catchable.
Well, now what you have to do is now you have to devise a play where you can pick up the 1st down.
And to the outside.
Jackson runs the double move, and Rip, I think, really has a shot at this. Right through his hands. Absolutely. An excellent throw by Matt Hasselbeck.
And not much has gone right for Mike Holmgren and company tonight. Now it's 4th down. Denver comes with a blitz. Hasselbeck floats it for Waters, incomplete. They'll turn it over on downs, and the Denver defense has done the job again. 1:52 to go in the game. It may take up the entire show. Denver now in the business of trying to kill the clock. And Terrell Davis gets maybe a half a yard. Chad Eaton with the tackle. Seattle uses a timeout. They have 1 left. And Rod Smith congratulating that Seattle defense for the job they did tonight. They have allowed 1 score, or the Denver defense, for the great job they have done. And Romanowski was a big part of that. If Denver wins this game, they have stayed alive in the wild card race. They would go to 7-6. 1/2 game behind the New York Jets for that 3rd and final wild card. Seattle would fall to 6-6, and that may be too much to ask, although they will have a chance to get their 7th victory and pull even. They have played 1 last game. Pat Bowlen watching his team come back. Terrell Davis has just gone over 100 yards. The 7th time against Seattle in his career. No player has ever run for 100 yards against one team more than Terrell Davis has against Seattle. 7 straight 100-yard games. He has 108 tonight.
And it couldn't happen to a nicer guy.
You're right.
It's a good run, too. These are the kind of runs you start to see Terrell Davis make. He's right. I think he's about midway through training camp. In a couple more weeks, I think you'll see more of a burst, and you'll see him be able to take it to the house on a 60 or 70-yarder.
And did you see the block by the center? Tom Nalen got out on Levon Kirkland. Nalen, who has been to 4 straight Pro Bowls, cleared the way for that big game that time. And Seattle is out of timeouts. All Denver has to do is hang on to the football. And they salt away their 7th victory of the season. Davis protects the ball, gets out to the 25. Let's check in with Susan.
Mike, one of the biggest differences in this Denver offense tonight from the past few games, in those few games it looked like they were trying not to make mistakes, like they were playing scared. Tonight, they were going for it. They were going for the win. They know the pressure is on. And Gus Frerotte had a good effect on this team. He was constantly encouraging the players on the bench, going up and down the line, smacking the offensive linemen on the shoulder pads, encouraging the young receivers. 1 down, 3 to go.
Absolutely, Susie. And how much, and that's the first down that will wrap it up, how much psychologically did the return of Rod Smith help?
Not just psychologically,
absolutely,
but physically and his ability to make plays.
But just to see number 80 on the field had to lift the offense's spirits. Now the question will be, did Brian Griese perhaps suffer a concussion, and will he be ready for next week, or will it still be Gus Frerotte? Brian looks better than he did shortly after he took that blow to the head. And now Seattle, without a timeout, can't stop it.
Well, Denver finally manages to hold on at the 4th quarter.
That's been a nasty 15 minutes for them, hasn't it?
It has, and Denver goes to Kansas City next week, and then they get a bye, finally, which is sort of nuts because you get a bye in the, 15th week of the season.
Yeah, but this is a team that needs a bye. They needed it this week.
Well,
Denver won.
Denver goes to Kansas City, then they go to Indianapolis, and then the Raiders. So they have 3 road trips. The last time they'll be home here for a while.
But all you can try to do in Denver's situation at this point in the season is stay alive, and they did that tonight. Mike Shanahan walks out a winner against longtime rival Mike Holmgren. Had to be impressed with the Denver defense tonight, didn't he?
Oh, I just tell you, these guys, they rotate. We talked to Romanowski last week, and he just said, hey, we got beat there. We beat him here.
Our final score, Denver 20, Seattle 7. For our entire ESPN crew, this is Mike Patrick saying goodnight from Mile High. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.
Went to a lifting Desmond Clark right there. Desmond for the touchdown. Beautiful catch on his part. The big tight end just went up and got it. Later on, the defense coming through. Reggie Hayward getting the sack right there. Matt Hasselbeck was wilting under the heat. Broncos had good pressure on the quarterback. Later on, big Chester McLaughlin moved this guy to safety. His 2nd pick of the season. But the Seahawks went on their own offensive later. Hasselbeck finally throws one to his own people. Darrell Jackson got it. 10-7 at the half. And here's where Brian went down. 3rd quarter, you see him just go down and hits his own head on the ground. He wasn't hit by anybody. Staggered off with a concussion. And here we go with the double reverse. The Broncos were loose. Kevin Casper, the ghost, getting loose down the field, 27 yards and a 1st down. They were out to have fun. They played with emotion. 1st and goal, play fake to TD, and Frerotte with a TD to Patrick Hape. Again, that play will never be stopped at the goal line. Broncos in control from there. Terrell Davis breaks free, tough running, but not much speed right now. They run him down. Maybe TD not in football shape just yet, but good enough. That led to a field goal and a 20-7 lead. TD over 100 yards in the game. The Broncos go to 7-6 and still alive for the playoffs. All right, later on, still ahead, Broncos locker room interviews live. We'll also check out the rest of the day's action in the NFL, including huge games between the Niners and the Rams, Chiefs, Raiders as well. We'll break down the BCS, and Notre Dame has a new head football coach as well. Right now, though, let's go live to Invesco Field, the scene of the big Broncos win, where Steve Gottsagen is standing by. Steve?
Thanks a lot, Lionel. Yeah, like you said, it was a big Bronco win. You know what? For the first time this year, this sounded like the old Mile High Stadium. The fans were really getting into this game. You know, it's amazing. It takes a must-win situation for the Broncos to get the fans really into this thing. And what a tremendous game. Terrell Davis, his 7th straight 100-yard effort against Seattle. The defense, how about Reggie Hayward, the rookie out of Iowa State, just his 2nd game active, 2.5 sacks. He was the man on defense. Brian Griese, of course, went down. That's bad news for the Broncos, as well as Darius Clark. But Gus Frerotte, getting his first real action of the season, looked solid, drove the Broncos down, led them to the victory, really. And what more can you say? The Broncos needed a win. They got the win. They look like they're in good shape now with 3 games to go. They're also must-wins, but they look good, and it gives them a little confidence getting ready for the game in Kansas City.
All right, Steve, thank you very much. Of course, Steve will be headed to the locker room to get some interviews. Griese and Frerotte combined 11 of 17 for Brian. Gus was 10 of 20. Rod Smith, 8 catches, 66 yards, and TD, 109 yards. And the defense played well. So, hey, all around a good effort by the Broncos. Now, 3 more to go.
All right.
The definite highlights tonight.
No doubt about it.
All right, talk more about that. Thank you.
Well, some Broncos fans brought a little something extra to the game. They helped fill the collection bins for the Toys for Tots drive.
Thank you.
Thank you. Several Marines were stationed outside Invesco Field at Mile High collecting toys from fans during this season of giving. The toys will be given to those less fortunate children. Now, 7 Solutions is also sponsoring a toy drive, and you can drop off unwrapped new toys or clothing here at Denver 7. The address is 123 Spear Boulevard. You can also drop them off at Galleons, at Flatiron Crossing, Aurora Mall, and at Cozy 101 Studios. And you have until December 16th to drop off your donations.
Okay, we have a lot more football coming up,
including players' reactions from the locker room and a look at what's ahead for the embattled Broncos.
I'm Sean McLaughlin here at the ESPN Zone. Coming up next, some brutal honesty from Broncos fans.
People across the nation are getting the message. For great year-end values, amazing selection, Toyotathon 02. Right now, we'll match your cash down payment up to $1,000 on many of your favorite 2002 Toyotas. For example, you put down $1,000 and we'll match it, bringing your total down payment up to $2,000. Toyotathon 02. Password value.
I know I shouldn't smoke. I've tried to quit 1,000,000 times. I know about lung cancer, strokes, heart disease, all that stuff. I mean, they're listed right on the side of the pack. Still doesn't make quitting any easier. But I'm going to keep at it. Because the way I see it, if the reasons on the side of the pack don't get to me, the reason on the front will.
Would you like any fries with that?
Allow me. Do you have mashed potatoes and gravy?
No, just fries.
Coleslaw?
Just fries.
Baked beans?
Nope.
Biscuits?
Nuh-uh, just fries.
Thank you. Gentlemen, let's go to KFC. I'll drive, you pay.
KFC's side orders make the holiday feast. Get 10 pieces of original recipe chicken, 2 large mashed potatoes with gravy, large coleslaw, and 6 biscuits for only $14.99.
You sitting on my biscuits, Clyde? There's fast food, and then there's KFC.
Think you missed our best offer ever? Think again. 0% financing is back on every new Ford, and it's better with cash back available up to $3,000. This isn't a leftover clearance. It's full-term, 0% financing on the brand-new, best-selling Ford of your choice, including F-Series, Expedition, Explorer, and Focus. Get the Ford you want at the price you want. Don't miss 0% financing this time. Visit your Rocky Mountain Ford store today.
Welcome back. Broncos beat the Seahawks 20-7 right now. Coach Mike Shanahan is speaking live at Invesco Field, and let's listen in.
Obviously was there where, you know, Steve would not have let him go back in the game if Gus would have went down. So obviously it was serious. He got a pretty good shot. I didn't see it on the replay, but just talking to him in the locker room, he still seemed a little bit dazed.
So you got the defensive line, Bryce Hayward,
yeah, it's nice for a young guy to come in and make a couple big plays like Reggie, and obviously Trevor made some big plays throughout the game. That's what you got to have. You got to have your defensive line step up. It's always nice to see a young guy that has been working extremely hard to give himself an opportunity to get in there. You know, he's earned it. And once he got a chance to show people, once he got a chance to play, obviously he made a few big plays in the game, so that was nice.
Mike, would you say that's overall the best your front four, your defensive line has played this season?
You know, we did some good things. We did some good things, and until I actually look at the film, I can't say for sure, but they did make a number of big plays during the game, and I have to say it was right up there without looking at the film. They did a good job. You know, they were really playing. You know, we kind of changed our game plan, and initially it kind of hurt us a little bit. We started to, you know, just throw the football. You know, they were 8-man fronts the majority of the time. When he got in there, they were going to make us throw. And we did. And I thought we capitalized on their 8-man fronts, and we were able to get some first downs and a few big plays, which was nice. Yeah, now you guys will have to talk about how consistent we are in the fourth quarter, how we shut everybody out. Nothing else?
Talk about Terrell's game.
He played great. You know, they did a great job in the first half. I'm not sure how many yards he had, but he didn't have many. And, you know, we threw the ball a little bit more to loosen him up, and I think it really helped us out. You know, Terrell played great, and credit to him, obviously hanging in there. And also a credit to the offensive line, making some pretty good-sized holes there when they really did a lot of different things defensively to keep you off balance.
When you get the idea that Rod would be able to play?
About 2 hours before the game, you know, I still have my question marks. You know, he was far from 100% today, but he's a competitor, and you know, he's everything that you want in a football player. But I could see he was nowhere near being full speed, but he made a number of plays for us. It was sure nice to have him out there. I don't think there's any setbacks, so that's a big.
That's Mike Shanahan talking live at Invesco Field. The last thing he said, Rod Smith, not 100%, but playing inspirational football and leading the Broncos to this 7-6 record right now with a win. He talked about the defense as well. Sean Alexander, 142 yards in the first meeting, 28 yards tonight. So a great job in shutting down Sean Alexander. But Seattle was not a good football team tonight. They were terrible. So let's wait and see what happens in the next game before we start yelling Super Bowl here for the Broncos.
Yeah, but they got what they wanted, and they're alive.
No, we don't want to
so,
take it away
right.
from the win for sure.
One step at a time, yeah.
You bet. All right. Talk to you in a bit. Thanks.
So, pushing that 7-6 record aside, how do you think the Broncos are doing this season? 7
News anchor Sean McLaughlin is at the ESPN Zone asking some diehard fans that exact question. Sean?
And we have some happy and very relieved Bronco fans here tonight. This was definitely a big game for the Broncos. Most everybody gave the team a passing grade.
I give the Broncos a B+ performance. I think they did a really good job tonight. The one thing that I think they need to do, though, their defense did wonderful, but their offense needs to step it up a little bit.
I'd have to say the grade would be a C. Yeah, they did good today. Their defense definitely stepped it up. Their offense needs to get a lot more improvement.
They have done really good on offense today. I really like some of the runs they've done tonight. Some of the B grade for the defense. They've been doing really awesome tonight.
I would give the Broncos an A, and I would give Terrell Davis an A+ because he's doing such a terrific job, and we're so happy for Terrell.
Probably a C because Terrell Davis he's working pretty hard. And Rod Smith catching some balls tonight.
Now, a lot of these fans were kind of anxious before tonight's game, not really knowing what was going to happen. They are more optimistic now. 3 more to go. That's what they're counting on. Reporting live from the ESPN Zone, Sean McLaughlin, 7 News.
All right. Thank you, Sean.
Final fans are happy. It's a win.
Well, the fans are happy. We heard Coach Shanahan happy. Let's find out what some of the players think about this one. Let's get to Invesco Field right now where Steve Gottsagen is live. And, Steve, some reaction from the Broncos on this one.
Yeah, and you were wondering if they were happy. They've got to be happy because they had a tremendous defensive performance to win the game 20-7. You talked about Sean Alexander, only 28 yards rushing in this game, Lionel. He came into the game third in the AFC, needing just 19 yards for 1,000 yards. And, of course, he torched the Broncos the last time around for 142 yards and 2 touchdowns. And a couple weeks after that, he had 266 yards against the Raiders. So they stopped one of the best running backs, and that's really why they won this game. And, obviously, you talked to Al Wilson after the game, and defensively, he knows they stepped up and had the big night.
Well, we let him run wild on this last time we played him. So, you know, it was up to us, man, to make a play and stop this guy from getting started. Because once he gets started, it's kind of hard to stop him. So we just wanted to come out, man, and play our type of football, and we did it.
And you really put the heat on Hasselbeck.
Yeah, you know, I give credit to the guys up front. I mean, they just kept constant pressure on him and forced him to make quick decisions. Anytime you do that to a quarterback, it's going to be hard.
Hey, finally, I thought the key play was down there. Gus fumbles. You hold them to 1 yard on 3 rushes. Then they missed the field goal, and you guys go right down the field.
Well, that's just will. That's just guys going out and want to make a play, and guys coming together and trying to play as one. And we did that.
Great, thank you.
Al Wilson, one of the keys of that defense, 6 solo tackles in the game. The Broncos 5 sacks. They pressured Matt Hasselbeck all night. Sean Alexander, no yards. Matt Hasselbeck under pressure. That equaled a big Broncos win. They're 7-6, still very much in the thick of the playoff race, Lionel.
All right, Steve, thank you very much. We'll see you a little bit later in the show. There's more to come after this break. The Broncos take that first step towards a desperation playoff run. Hey, Gus fills in for Brian, and the Broncos are alive and kicking. Stay with us.
With Boulder Emergency Squad for 38 years as a volunteer.
During that time, 7 everyday hero Brian Dillman has impacted hundreds of lives.
Be able to finish that job, lean against the rescue truck, tired, but watching the ambulance driving away with somebody who you've made a difference in their life is very, very rewarding.
He always brings us back to the core, understanding that people and friends are important.
Nominate your 7 everyday hero, sponsored by your Greater Denver Toyota dealer.
Don't you love the heat lamps? Keeps food hot for hours and hours. Who's in the mood for something made fresh? Subway makes every sandwich right before your eyes.
Our 4 Subway selects are fresh made and each with its own tasty sauce. Like the delicious Southwest chicken with a zingy Southwest sauce. And the horseradish steak and cheese with a zesty horseradish sauce. All on fresh baked bread.
Subway, eat fresh!
Come to Subway today and enjoy a hot, hearty, delicious bowl of soup with your favorite sandwich. Subway, eat fresh.
Face it, extra cash in a CD player are good things. That's why Chevy Cavalier comes with $2,500 cash back or 0% APR financing. And it's equipped with a CD player standard. Hey, with $2,500 cash back or 0% APR financing, a night out never sounded so good.
Buy you a Chevrolet.
Cavalier, see your Colorado Chevy dealer. Let's keep America rolling.
It's that time of the year. Time to call your family and friends so far and near.
AT&T Digital Phone Service from AT&T Broadband. Get a great deal on your local and long distance together.
Pick up the phone and call up Uncle Bill. Dial up little Sally and email Cousin Phil. It's one connection, just one on one line. Call them all at once or one at a time.
AT&T Digital Phone Service. Get 1 free month of service, 2 free months of voicemail, plus free installation.
AT&T Broadband. 'Tis a season to believe.
3 tight ends, Carter the up-back, Davis the deep man. Terrell Davis. Fake, throwing the flat, touchdown.
Gus Farrat to Patrick Hape, 17-7 at that point. Broncos win at 20-7. The locker room is open. The players are talking. Right now, let's go live to Invesco Field. Trevor Price is speaking right now.
What does this mean to you guys? It means we're one step closer to our goal. Point blank.
Hey, Trevor, I thought one of the keys was when they recovered Gus's fumble, you guys held them to 1 yard rushing on 3 plays, then they missed the field goal. You go down the field and score, and it seemed to be a big turning point.
Yeah, it was, but we pride ourselves in stopping the run, and we finally come together as defense the last, 5 to 6, 7 weeks, or, in that time period, no one's gotten over 80 yards on us. So we know what we can do as far as a situation like that. We knew we had to hold them to 3 or less, and, thank goodness we held them to less.
And defensively, you put a tremendous amount of pressure on Hasselbeck, obviously all the sacks tonight.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, it was 5-on-4 protection, which kind of shocked me. I don't think they had any respect for our defensive line. I'm not, well, maybe not respect, but they figured we wouldn't be riled up like we were. But last time they blocked us pretty well, and this time I know I had a personal vendetta against them, and I had to do things I needed to do.
That's Trevor Price, Lionel, and we're going to move around the locker room and come back here in just a couple of minutes.
All right, Mike, thank you very much. Trevor, a little low-key. He knows this is just 1 out of 4, but this is certainly one that they have to celebrate. Not for long. and then get back on the horse again on Wednesday.
Back to business.
More to come.
I'm Adele Arakawa. The coach has been suspended for 4 games, but there are those in the Hispanic community who think he should have been fired. Community leaders spoke this afternoon at a news conference. They say they are outraged, angry, and offended by Dan Issel's remarks. They also believe his punishment by the Nuggets organization was not harsh enough.
We demand that the Nuggets fire him. The Nuggets' handling of the situation is completely laughable. We as Latinos find that the 4-game suspension is totally unacceptable.
The words that come out of a man's mouth are those words that live in his heart. And that tells me that those words live in Dan Issel's heart, and we have not heard him say anything to the contrary.
Community leaders say it will take more than time to heal the wounds created by Issel's comment. They are considering a boycott of the games. They say the team will have to make a considerable effort to win the forgiveness of the Latino community.
Issel was yelling at 23-year-old Bobby Bowman. Despite what happened, Bowman says he is still a big Nuggets fan and is satisfied with Issel's punishment. Bowman told 9 News reporter Adam Schrager he still doesn't understand how this all happened.
Last night, for the 5th straight time and the 9th time in 10 games, the Denver Nuggets lost. Everyone was frustrated, including Bobby Bowman, the fan sitting in section 130, row 11, seat 15. He took his anger out on Nuggets coach Dan Issel.
So I said, "Hey, Issel, you suck." He looked up at me, started blowing kisses at me and said, "Oh, another beer. Don't drink another beer." And I said, "Oh, no, shut up." And then he said, "Piece of." Me and my buddy just looked at each other and were like, whoa, we couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe he said that.
But at a news conference today, Issel acknowledged he used a racial slur. And as a result, the team suspended him for 4 games without pay, a fine of almost $112,000.
You know, I've been there at games when people throw cups at him and they spit, and he's never flipped out like that before, and he just flipped out on me yesterday.
Bowman says he didn't want to see Issel fired, but he did feel the coach needed to be punished.
There was no need for him to say that, what he said to me, He didn't need to bring no racial comments up at all. He could have called me any other name he wanted to, but he said that, and that's what got me. And that's why he's in trouble now, He didn't have to go there.
So Issel's suspension is fine with Bowman. In fact, he doesn't plan on suing the Nuggets. He simply wants to let this go.
I'm just a big fan of the Nuggets, and I'm still going to go to their games, and support my team.
While not supporting the words of its coach. Adam Schrager, 9 News.
Dan Issel didn't take any questions at the news conference today, but he answered several later when he sat down with 9 News sports anchor Tony Zarella.
People come away from this saying, if you had said to the guy, cursed at the guy or whatever, which is, as you know, as a former player and coach, and it still crosses the line. But as soon as race enters the picture, the obvious feeling among many people is this how Dan Issel is deep down?
Yeah. And I know the people that know me know that that's not me. And I hope that the apology is sincere enough that people who don't know me, I know some people will forgive me, some people never will, but that's what I'll have to live with.
Kiki said today you offered to do whatever was in the best interest of the Nuggets. Did you ever consider resigning?
I'm a company man. I don't, if I resigned, I think that would be running away from the situation, and I'm not going to run. But if they thought that was best, I would accept that.
We'll hear more from Dan Issel and from his players later on in this newscast. You can also join in an online discussion about the Dan Issel incident by going to 9news.com.